Here we go. We are live. Welcome to the True Mouse Games YouTube channel, and welcome to another episode of our Roveia, the Lost Island D&D campaign, session 24, and we are approaching the final part of the campaign. Now, I am, as always, Alex, and I have the honor of being your dungeon master for the evening. Our player characters are preparing their assault upon their probably main enemy in this campaign, this creature, giant or some other thing, calling itself the Lightning Lord. They have figured out that the castle or the main headquarters of this creature is actually somewhere high up on a cloud, and they're looking for a way to get there and surprise him before he wipes out the rest of the island, basically. In that regard, they ventured into the Western Timberland to look for the Dryad Queen there, and hopefully from her get some sort of aid, some sort of magic to get them up to that cloud where they need to be. But the Dryad Queen was away in the beyond as they visited the Western Timberlands. They spoke to some other Dryads, and those Dryads told them to come back in a few days. Sadly, they do not have much time, for the Lightning Lord had given them an ultimatum, and there are only 7 days left. Actually, no, there are 6 days left on that ultimatum at the moment. No, 5, actually. 5 days. 6 days counting the day we have right now. And they decided to do something else. They decided to head south into a swamp area known as Blackmoor and investigate what is to be found there, for they have not been in Blackmoor before. It's one of the last bits of the island that they have not been to yet. And they think that there might be some other danger hidden in Blackmoor, for they have heard a sort of a prophecy, a vision, that there are 2 great dangers that are about or potentially about to destroy the island and their inhabitants. And we will see what will happen in Blackmoor. So what our player characters know is there are frog-like creatures, bullywugs, that have been attacking the village of Wondermere, not far from the swamp. But in the last couple of weeks or so, they have been fairly quiet, and they've even heard reports of the bullywugs fighting each other within the swamp. No one really knows what's going on in there, but the mayor of Wondermere was quite happy with the situation, for if these savages kill each other, these creatures, then they won't pose a problem to the village. Anyway, our player characters have nonetheless decided to investigate, and as we left off, it is early morning. They have camped and slept at the very edge, at the very northern edge of the Blackmoor, and they are rising now with the sun and gazing into the moor itself. For those of you who are sort of newish or don't know this yet, if you look at the description underneath the YouTube video, there is a link to a current map of the island of Roveia, so you can see where our player characters are and where Blackmoor is. In fact, if you look at the map, we're pretty much straight south from where that little bridge is next to Wondermere, which is the village in the sort of southwest of the island. So if you draw a line sort of south-ish from that bridge, you'll get to Blackmoor eventually, and that is where our player characters have camped for the night. And that's where we jump into the game. So it is a fairly clear day, a few clouds, a bit of wind, and as you wake up, you can already smell the moor. It's this smell of rotten vegetation and salty water, for this is an area that is mostly salt water from what you have figured so far. And the moor itself is fairly heavily, densely overgrown. You can see many trees. It's nearly as thick as a forest as such, at least in this initial area that you can see in, with a few like small streams and many like ponds and other small waterways and water holes stretched all through the area. From what you can see, it seems quite muddy, the whole thing. And as you are preparing to basically break off camp and get going, you spot something interesting. I think Silas is the one with the highest passive perception in the group. So Silas, you're looking sort of around into the swamp, and then also to the left, along the edge of the swamp into the distance, sort of eastwards, and you see movement there outside of the swamp. And you look over, and you can see what appears to be a horse in the distance, just sort of trotting vaguely in your direction along the edge of the swamp. It from what you can tell, it's just a single horse, no rider. You think it seems to have a saddle. I mean, it's still like several hundred yards away, and it's sort of moving slow, not running towards you or anything like that. But yeah, you think it must have like a saddle or something. There's like a brown blotch on its back, basically. Maybe it's like some sort of blanket or a pack or something on its back, but it's not. Doesn't look like a wild horse as such.
No, I guess I'll pull out the spyglass and like.
All right.
Horse, and I kind of like look past it.
Yeah, give me a perception check with advantage. Through to the spyglass. 19, excellent. So you take a good look and you see the horse itself. It's a classical riding horse, like one of those that you can buy in many small towns and such. It has a saddle indeed. It has no pack as such, although there is what looks to be a small bag tied to its side. And there's also, you think it's like a short sword or something in a scabbard, also tied to the side of the horse. And the horse is just slowly walking around, sort of every now and then it seems to be stopping and maybe nibbling at the grass a bit and sort of moving. It seems to be moving slightly northwest. So not directly in your direction, sort of vaguely in the direction of, I suppose, the river to the north somewhere. It's about maybe half a mile away or so, you'd say. And it doesn't seem to have noticed you.
Guys, do we want another horse?
You left your horses in the village, by the way.
Yeah.
If you recall.
I'm inclined to be distrusting of a horse wandering around in a dangerous swamp.
No, I mean, I'm guessing the rider is dead.
Right.
That's
yeah.
the most likely option. But I'm gonna go see if I can grab the horse and at least see if it has anything on it that's just why it's out here.
Hey, here's the thought. Maybe Karga should ask the horse what's happened to its rider.
I mean, if she would like to.
I am not in the animal speaking mood today. By which I mean, I'd have to waste a shape change, but I don't know how much the horse can tell me.
Okay, well, let's go away then.
I'd really rather save that for whatever killed his rider.
Okay, so Silas,
good.
You say?
Yeah, I guess I'll start walking towards the horse.
Okay.
I'm walking with you.
Okay. So you're both approaching the horse, and it seems a little skittish, not as such as if it was like in any confrontation or anything. You don't see any wounds or such, but as you do approach, the horse does look tired. It looks like it's moving slowly, not because it chooses to, but it seems tired. It's just like sort of sweaty. Well, if horses sweat, I'm actually not sure, but like it looks tired. It looks like it's been running a fair bit recently. And it's sort of moving a bit and sort of cropping grass a bit, and its head comes up. It's keeping an eye on the swamp and slowly moving away from the swamp. It doesn't seem to really mind you approaching as such. It does stop eventually once it sees you and sort of keeps an eye on you, but doesn't make any moves, any sudden moves of flight or attack or anything like that. Okay, horses do sweat. Okay, in that case, it might be still quite damp from sweat or some other liquid, really. It's this brownish color with a slight red tinge. A fairly decent horse, you'd say. It's not like a farmer's horse as such. The saddle also looks, from what you can tell, fairly decent quality. A nice leather riding saddle.
Okay. I'm gonna try and call it over to me.
Okay, give me a persuasion check. Animal, actually. Is there there's an animal handling thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I assist?
You can, yeah.
Nope.
16, all right. And you sort of both like hold out grass to it, and it comes over to you, sniffing at you a bit, but then lets itself be caught, by the way, like basically. And you can see now that it's close. It has some sort of shallow wounds along its flanks, sort of behind where the saddle is, sort of towards the not really at the back, but more on the sides, on both sides, apparently.
Does it look like not stir, but
Spores,
His
you mean?
stirrups. Sorry, spurs. Thank you. I could.
It doesn't quite look like spurs, but the location is the one where you'd find spur wounds. So potentially something that was inflicted on the horse by a rider using like maybe like just boots, or maybe even a riding crop or something. Yeah, it's the wounds are shallow, but still, I mean, still looks like this horse has seen some heavy use as such. And it looks like, from what you could tell, the rider didn't really like give a damn about the horse's potential pain and such.
Okay.
Are some of the bones cut, or
the
equipment is intact?
It doesn't look like it's been attacked. Everything seems in order. There's, as I said, there's a short sword in a scabbard tied to the saddle on one side. On the other side, there's just like a small bag. And you can look into that bag without any problems, and there's just a few provisions in there. The reins are tied to the saddle itself, and there's no sign of any sort of rope or anything that might have been used to tie this horse to a tree or something like that.
So either his master got taken off quite fast, or he just ran away.
You said there's a small pouch tied,
Yes.
tied to the side.
Yeah, it has.
There?
Yeah, it's like a simple traveling bag, basically. Really, just like a leather bag, basically. It's tied up with some leather strings. It holds a few provisions, maybe 2 days worth of food or something like that. Some of that is partially eaten. So like a day and a half worth of food or something like that. And there's also like a small water skin in there.
Okay.
That's mostly empty.
So it's not even like messenger bag or anything like that. Okay.
No personal belongings or anything like that, what you can tell, except for that short sword, which if you take it out, you can easily do that. It seems decent enough, but nothing special as such. There's no ornamentation or anything like that. It's just a normal short sword.
All right. I mean, I guess we can like bring it over to camp and tie it up, and we can have another horse, I guess.
Okay.
Once we go back to the village, ask if they saw someone on that horse.
I'm gonna take just one more look along, like just eastward along the edge of the forest with my spyglass. Just
Okay.
see if I see any.
Give me another perception check.
Ugh, that's much worse.
Nope. No, you don't see anything significant. The sun is up, and the sun is coming up in the east, obviously, and you're looking east, and the sun is not very high in the sky. So as you're trying to sort of gaze east through the spyglass, you are pretty immediately blinded by a occasional look into the sun, straight into the sun, and
Yeah,
you're like,
I can't get an angle without looking at the sun. Yeah.
you spend the next minute just like blinking and trying to get the bright colors out of your head.
Don't look into the clips. They said.
It's okay, just put some sunblock on your eyes.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Well, let's bring it back to camp, I guess.
Okay, yeah, you take the horse back to camp, and it follows you docile enough. It doesn't seem to make any sudden moves. As I said, it seems quite exhausted, so it doesn't seem like it's capable of running very fast at the moment, even if it wanted to. It's sort of stumbling a bit while you lead it.
I think the good way would be to leave it there and pick it when we go back.
Yeah, it's not gonna do anything good anymore. So.
Robert?
Because
Hey Kevin, have you tried turning it off and on again?
I just did, in fact.
Okay, so you have the horse in your camp. What do you want to do now? Still quite early in the morning. It is summertime, so the sun comes up very early, like 5 o'clock or something in the morning. It's now maybe about 6:30 or so. You have risen not long after the sun.
Shall we go?
Well, it's going to be difficult to keep a horse into
Yeah.
the swamp. And if we leave it
Well-
here, it's going to get eaten. You think if we just let it go, it will wander back to the town? I don't know. Do horses do that?
It'll go someplace.
I think it'll be fine here. If not, then well,
Yeah, we
maybe
could-
we're-
We could tie it lightly so he can't go off if he simply wants to wander around. But if he has to run away from something, he can.
That sounds reasonable.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. You find like a bush or something, sort of a little away from the edge of the swamp, maybe like 100 yards or so, and then tie it to that. And the horse, if it really gets panicky, it probably they'll able to rip out the bush and just run away.
Yeah,
But
some-
yeah, it seems, as I said, it seems exhausted. It doesn't seem like it's keen to rip out anything or run anywhere really.
Alright. Let's go into the swamp.
All right.
Do we have a direction in mind within the swamp?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Inward.
Okay.
So what does inward mean?
I don't know. I mean,
I guess maybe
whatever it is
Shit,
that's
what's
making
that?
trouble, probably not
Towards
hanging
theater.
out just around the corner. Is all I'm saying.
We're about like here right now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
so
basically. Yeah, so,
I'm
yeah.
tempted to try to head down there.
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes, there is. In fact, there is actually a what looks to be some sort of ruin written or like painted onto your map. You don't really know anything about that ruin, but there seems to be something there.
We kind of do actually. Sakurai told us about it.
Then he tells
Oh, did he?
What did he say?
That it's a place of power.
No, that's
That's on.
that's
Blackmoor.
here.
Oh,
That's
it's that one. Ah, okay.
there is an
How
old
would I there
fortress on Bloodplate. That's what he was talking about.
Oh, okay. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, that seems as good as place as any.
Sounds smart. We'll remember this.
We have what 4 days to explore that.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe
Two.
gonna be faster.
You have to
go
get back
this
up to
route.
the.
Okay, 2 days.
Yeah. Well, let's get walking.
Okay.
Okay, so which direction do you want to go in? Are you heading into the swamp or following the edge of the swamp, or what are you going?
Maybe.
I think we should go in. I mean, we're trying to find out what's there. We're not going to find it out by moving around just outside looking in.
All right.
That's a point, yeah. Okay,
We
let's
cross it, and
We
once
can
we
diagonally.
maybe like head in this direction. Then.
and once we
And
found
then
the sea,
there we go there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're moving sort of. What would that be? That'd be sort of let's see.
Southeast.
Southeast.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so not like straight down south, but not completely east, definitely. Okay, that's definitely heading deeper into the swamp. From what you can see on your map, if that's correct, that part of the swamp, sort of the western part of the swamp, the Blackmoor, seems to be a little more sort of like not as wet, I suppose.
or try.
Yeah, drier.
No big lakes.
Yeah, exactly. Although you do realize very soon as you do step into the swamp that map might not be quite so accurate because water is everywhere around you. So imagine this is, have you ever seen like a mangrove, well, a grove of like mangrove trees? Those trees that rise up from like the water and their roots is these massive root system and like earth basically forms around the roots. This is what this is. There are many trees rising up from what looks to be a mixture of salt and fresh water, and from judging by the smell anyway. And around the roots of these trees, and there's hundreds and hundreds of roots everywhere, that's where like tiny islands are formed. Around every 2 or 3 trees, there's like an island. And then everything that's not surrounding or held together by these trees is just ponds and streams and small lakes everywhere around you. So water is quite prominent. It's often fairly shallow water from what you can tell. Often you can see to the bottom. Many of these puddles and these small ponds and such only seem like a couple feet deep, but I mean deep enough to obviously wet your feet. The smell is fairly unpleasant, as you have already gathered. This mixture of rotting vegetation and the sort of the salty smell of the sea itself. And you very soon realize that there's insects everywhere. And there's frogs and lizards and a few swamp birds. The whole noise of the swamp is fairly constant. It's just this like a curtain of sound that's drawn around you.
I'll be keeping a special eye out as we walk for just signs of, fauna that's bigger than a frog, I guess. Like for signs of polywogs or signs of whatever, right? Anything
which way
bigger.
are you, in what way are you traveling? Are you all walking in a line with one of you ahead? Are you sticking together as a group? Is someone hanging, moving further or slower or faster than a group?
I think like a sort of loose group, kind of oval, that shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a rhombus diamond. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll do middle-ish of that.
All right.
And also mage armor on myself because
certainly
this place.
Yeah. Okay. You haven't walked far, maybe about 200-300 yards or so, when you spot something. As you spot something in front of you, at one of the trees there is a creature, and at first you expect the creature to attack you or do something, but then you very quickly realize that this creature is beyond care of your presence. It is dead. It is, in fact, nailed to the trunk of one of the trees using large wooden spikes that have been pierced straight through its flesh. The creature is what you probably think of as a frogman, a weird sort of greenish brown skin, like amphibious, this sort of nearly like gum sort of like skin. It is wearing rags basically made of leather and what looks to be pieces of vegetation as such, and its sort of head with these large eyes that stare unblinking into the distance is just hanging down. There's several spikes, as I said, driven through its body into the trunk of the tree behind, and its spindly thin legs and arms hang down without quite touching the ground.
That's welcoming.
Yep.
I think we're heading into Lizardman territory now. This seems like a territory declaration, like, stay the fuck away.
But is it for everyone or just for the frogmen?
Probably mostly the frogmen, since it's frogmen and lizardmen. That's like the two tribes that live here. So this is probably like the border where the lizardmen say no frogs allowed. But it probably applies to us too.
Probably. Lizardmen aren't exactly
robots.
Okay. God damn it.
Is it roll to try and get an idea of how long it's been dead and how it died?
That would be, I'd say, either a nature or a medicine check.
I thought I had proficiency in medicine. Apparently I don't.
11.
Okay. It's been dead a while, not like weeks and weeks, but definitely more than a couple days. It's already started decomposing. The smell is not nice, but then again, the whole swamp smells like shit anyway.
Can I tell how it died?
You're not sure. Maybe by the thick spike, maybe killed by the thick spikes that pierced its body. You don't see any like other obvious wound on it, so you think it might have just still been alive when it was struck to that tree, basically.
Well, that's not nice.
let's maybe not go messing in any lizard man business if we don't have to. And yeah, we'll probably
Yeah.
go with-
Well, we kind
It's, by the
of.
way, it's facing away from you. It's like from the direction you came, which sort of northerly, you saw its back first.
Okay. So,
Or as much of its back as you could see, obviously. being naked.
so we might be heading more into Bullywog territory than this man.
You're not sure. I mean, you're not far from the edge of the swamp. You've only walked maybe 200-300 yards.
Oh, okay.
You can still see, if you look back, you can still catch like glimpses of the fields beyond in the distance.
Alright.
Well, we kind of have to keep going.
Yeah.
So, I mean, keep your eyes open.
Okay. You continue in the same direction.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do continue, you spot, while you're moving, several more bullywugs, about 3 or 4 more in the same state, basically, nailed to trees using thick wooden spikes. And some of them look a little older, like one is like partially decomposed. It looks like it's been there for probably about 2-3 weeks or so. And most of them are like a couple days-ish to maybe a week or so old, you'd say. And they're all sort of looking south, basically. Or southwest, south and south and west, basically.
Okay.
Probably safe to
Starting
assume.
to think it may not be lizardmen, but something that's moved in that's
Maybe
keeping the
trolls?
frogs too busy to bother the humans.
Well, I think trolls might be, but I don't think trolls would be nailing.
Can trolls hammer?
They probably could, but I don't think they're particularly
Would.
concerned with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're more inclined to strip the flesh than
Salt the wound.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You continue on your path, and the ground around your feet is very like wet and muddy. With every step you hear this basically. So it's very hard to move quietly in this swamp, and you have to sort of go snake lines as you. I'm assuming you want to pick a path that seems safe without trying to sort of trudge through like hip or knee deep water and such, which basically forces you to follow the sort of islands, little string of these island or tree islands, basically, from one group of trees to the other, always picking the safest path. Karga is the one who has the most skill with wilderness, so I'm guessing that she's the one to sort of decide the path that you walk. But so far it looks fairly safe. However, you can all just generally give me perception checks as you're walking.
My passive perception, does that play in here?
Yes. Yes, I am aware that 2 of you have very high passive perception.
Let's see.
That's persuasion, not perception. That's better. Okay, I think Karga is... No, Karga rolled a roll, sorry. So, okay. Karlovel and Karga... Well, actually, pretty much all of you, because the other 2 have very high passive perception. You do notice that there are definitely some natural dangers in this. You see several fairly large snakes that don't... not like 10 yards long or anything like that, but large enough that they could prove a danger to a man or anything man-sized. There's a couple of sort of large-ish lizards, maybe about this size, that stare at you unblinkingly. And there's also a few alligators, pretty decent-sized, scaled things that line the water, deceptively slow, looking at you, just like showing the tip of their head as they're gazing through at you from the water. There's also birds in different shapes and colors. You see several ibises stalking like through slowly through the water. Some larger kingfish or some like smaller birds like kingfishers, also larger ones, brownish, fairly fat ones that have a vague resemblance to chickens. You're not quite sure what kind of bird that is. Some of them make these very weird sounds that at first like disturbs you a bit, but then you realize it's just a bird. And yet there's also quite a few fish. Some of them very colorful, red and orange and yellow and black, swimming through these small lakes, lagoons, and streams and such. Some of them might be saltwater, others might be a freshwater fish. It seems to be a fairly place very much alive with animal life. None of that immediately any danger to you at this very moment, but a lot of it that might potentially prove dangerous to you. One time you see a very large fish, nearly the size of a man, very thin and long, maybe about 2 yards or so long, some sort of maybe barracuda or something, slowly sort of swimming through, and with a flip of its tail, it disappears in the murky water.
Samus starts walking on the reefs where he can, above the water.
All right.
Where he can.
Yeah, I'd probably do the same.
Okay. You walk about an hour and a half or so, 2 hours after you've entered the swamp, maybe about, nearly as much since you found the dead bullywugs. And you are moving through a sort of fairly safe path, a path that's about maybe 15, 20 feet wide, with a pond on each side and a small stream up ahead that you sort of have to cross, but it doesn't seem to be too difficult. The crossing seems fairly easy. The water maybe about knee height at the most. When both Silas and Caliphos, you notice movement in the water on the pond to your left and to the right. I mean, there's always movement in the water, but these ripples are larger than what we've seen so far. You sort of keep an eye on them, and you do see movements, shapes in the murky water, and then you see two heads slowly rising up from the water. Bullywugs, apparently large frog-like heads, looking at you with black eyes, and then disappear back down under. You're not sure whether they noticed that you have noticed them, but probably not. They were acting rather stealthily.
Message to Karga and Carlota. We'll just we have company on either side watching us. Just a heads up.
Okay, so you hear Silas's voice as a whisper moving past your ear.
Okay. I'm ready to react if something happens.
Okay.
Do we get like maybe a count on how many might be up there?
Give me a general perception check. There's definitely movement on both sides in the water. You're not 100% sure, but keeping an eye on them, there's maybe about 3 or 4 on either side. And there's also on the left side, at least, you saw something larger than a bullywug move under the waterline as well.
Oh, good. They have friends.
Like bullywugs are fairly small creatures, like halfling sized maybe or so. Or actually not that, maybe not quite that small, but like not
like dwarf size maybe.
Yeah, dwarf size potentially. Yeah. This seemed larger.
Okay.
And you now all obviously tense and walking through and keeping an eye out. You do realize that the bullywugs are definitely preparing for an attack. You can see the shapes moving in closer, and they're sort of now underwater. You can see the water is murky, but you can still see a little bit. Underwater, they seem to be preparing some sort of like javelins or spears or such, and slowly closing in from both sides. And you can now also see that each side has one of these larger shapes that look like some sort of toad, but very, very massive toads, like human-sized, basically. Large balloony things.
Is there any natural cover that we could get to quickly?
There's a few bushes, but nothing that would grant
No.
you amazing amount of cover. No, there's
No,
you're
like
in the,
mangrove trees or anything?
the closest tree is about maybe 40, 50 feet ahead. There's like two groups of trees, one of them behind you, one of them ahead of you, and you're now traversing the path between them. So there's about 30 feet, then there's a small stream, maybe about 5, 6 feet wide. And then beyond that, another 10, 15 feet is the next like group of trees, about 3 or 4 mangrove trees.
We could rush.
Yeah, I'm gonna like kind of tap Cliffus on the shoulder and be like, "All right, we need to go," and just dash for a bunch of trees ahead.
All right, you start running full on through the mud.
Like not like running away, but like running to cover. You know?
Yeah, certainly.
I dash with him.
Okay.
I follow, I guess.
Okay.
I'll first use my normal movement to see what's something happening.
Okay.
Lift my feet.
So you all dash, start running. Karga and Karlova, like after a second hesitation, and so which means that Silas and Caliphus are a bit ahead, and just you could see the bullets like pop up on both sides, surprised, looking after you, and then one of them croaks something, and spears start flying, javelins from both sides, but they have not gotten proper aim, and you're running, so I'll give all of them disadvantage. Pretty much, there's like 2 spears coming, 2 javelins coming towards each of you guys. Oh wow, Caliphus, you're actually hit by one of the spears.
They hit 20 AC.
Oh no, with disadvantage. One of them anyway. The other spear just goes like a mile wide. Yeah, Karga, no, you dodge one of the spears. The other one doesn't even get close to you. Silas, nope. And Karlovel. Hey, Karlovel, you would be hit by 1, although you can, of course, use your reaction if you wish.
I'm using deflect missile.
Yeah. How much did you deflect?
I think you need to click the name.
Yeah, no. The name is something else.
Okay, 12 points. Okay, so you easily catch the javelin like out of the air as you're running without any problems.
Ooh.
You know what? The guy that hit me is in for a nasty surprise and needs to make a dexterity saving throw.
Let me roll damage first. So wow, 2 damage. Mighty blow. So your armor mostly deflects it. It's like a heavy thud that hits your shoulder. Yeah, you take 2 damage, and he will probably take a bit more than that. Okay, so that's a dex save, right?
Yep. 12.
That's a 50. Yeah, he succeeds. So he takes 4.
So he takes 4.
Yeah.
I dealt twice as much damage.
So fire shoots out from where the spear hit you and strikes into one of the bullywug's faces, and he goes, stumbling backwards, and
I'm throwing back the javelin with the
okay,
23.
you use the point and fling it back. Go for it.
But the damage would be...
Oh, you need to hit first.
23. It's the number that show up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Because it's a monk weapon now, so 7 points of damage.
Okay, yeah. So you catch the javelin, just pirouette, like throw it around, throw it back where it came from, striking one of the bullets in the arm. It's like rips it out, and it looks pretty badly hurt after that javelin. And now we are in initiative after this brief blurry of activity. So let's roll it, guys.
I rolled well.
That's impossible. Okay, so let's see. We have an 18. Karlovel has, what's your dex? Oh, Karlovel has more dex, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I have a 3 index.
Yeah.
I have a 1.
We have Calicphos, 18, and we have Silas with a 10. And Karga as always. Bullywugs get a 13. Cool. All right, Colwell, you're up first.
How
You can
far?
see now there are 2 giant frog things on each side of you, about maybe 25, 30 feet away in water though, and there's 4 bullywugs on each side, sort of strung out in 2 like semicircles on both sides. The closest one to you would be about 20 feet away from you, but they're in a pond, and the pond seems to be maybe about like, say, about 2 yards or so deep, so deep enough for you that you couldn't stand in the pond itself. There's mangroves in front of you, about maybe 20 feet away, and there's a small stream connecting the 2 ponds sort of right in front of you.
I can't really do much.
No ranged weapons?
I have darts.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'll throw the darts.
Okay, who are you aiming at?
One of the frog, I think I can.
The giant frog things or the bullywugs? They're all frog things.
The giant one. No, I'll throw to a bullywug.
Okay. Are you wanting to hit one of the 2 that is already injured, or a new one?
Yeah. The one that took the javelin.
From you. Okay. Yep. Go for it.
And so that's 9.
Yeah, that misses. The first dart just hits the water next to it.
I have 2 attacks.
Yes, you should have 2 attacks.
Second dart. 19.
Definitely a hit. Roll damage.
That's wrong, so... 5.
5 points. Yeah, you. He sort of rips out the javelin, looks up. One dart hits the water next to it. It looks down and looks up and takes the second dart straight in one of the eyes, and sinks. All right, Carnival, that was. You want to move at all, or is that your turn?
As a bonus action, I'll use my my monk ability to take the dodge action.
That it costs you 1 key point, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Khalifos, you're up next.
So I basically want to just follow after Silas and like ready my shield to block things.
Well, you're already like running next to him, basically.
Yeah. I just that's basically just what I want to do. I don't really have anything else.
You don't want to do anything else? Okay.
No, it would require drawing another weapon. Which.
Okay.
Do you want to like dodge or anything?
Wait, I have. Do I have that hand crossbow?
I don't think so.
No, who took that?
No idea. Okay, well, in that case, we have bullywugs. 7 of them are still alive, and they will now charge in, hopping up like frogs out of the water, swinging their javelins and spears. And since, well, there's 7 of them, so we'll have 2 of them go for Carnival as they leap out to avenge their comrade with their spears. You're dodging, so they have disadvantage. Yeah, they like 2 of them leap out and basically jump into each other and sort of nearly fall over and sort of pointing in your and start trying to poke in your direction, but the attacks are not even nearly close to you. You're just standing there, like, okay, shrugging. Okay, that was 2 of them. We have 2 of them will go for Khalifos, since you've sort of already been injured. The one with the slightly burned face with anger in his large frog-like eyes, and one of his comrades. And one of them will hit. The one that already hit you once strikes once more in the very same spot. You take 3 points of piercing damage. And they will also both bite you, which they both miss. They try to bite you, but your armor is way too thick for their measly teeth. And we have 1 attacking Silas and 2 attacking Karga. Silas, you are running. You barely see the guy coming. You take a leap forward, and it misses and lands behind you, just like swinging its spear behind you through the air. And Karga, you also managed to dodge all 4 attacks, as these creatures are clearly not the best fighters that you have ever seen by any means. That was their turn. Silas, you're up.
All right. So I've got 1 right in front of me.
Yep.
A couple by Califos. Just because I haven't had a chance to do it before, I'll just reach out and put like a hand on Califos' shoulder and say, "Ready to go fast?" and cast haste.
All right, Califos, you feel a surge of energies going through your body, and your whole muscles start vibrating.
Could you post that in chat?
Power.
Or wait, I could do it in Discord. Never mind.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to do, Silas?
No, I don't really have any bonus actions available, so that's kind of it.
Okay. The 2 giant toad-like things now leap out. One of them comes hopping over to Carlavel and tries to go in for a bite attack. Its mouth is pretty large. They're about the size of humans, like standing up, basically, but the bulk is much, much wider than a human. They're like large, oversized, like puffed up balloons with like all kinds of warts. They're pretty disgusting creatures.
Dodging.
Yeah, you have this. They have disadvantage, but you dodge it easily. The second one leaps out, stops, and then shoots out a tongue. Its large sort of tongue towards Karga, trying to wrap it around your arm like a whip, nearly. But it also misses. Okay, that was their turn. Karga, you're up.
I would like to cast Flaming Sphere, and I'd like to cast it wherever I can. Wherever I can, that will hit several, like a couple of them, but none of my friends.
I think Flaming Sphere only is a 5-foot square,
Yeah.
right? So which means you can't really hit more than one of them with a Flaming Sphere, unless they're standing like in the very same spot.
Okay.
I think it has like a 5-foot radius around the sphere.
Yeah, it says within 5
10
feet of
feet.
the sphere.
Oh, okay. Okay, in that case, you could probably get 2.
Yeah.
So you can get the 2 fighting Carlavel, or the 2 fighting Califos, or the 2 fighting you.
Yeah, I'll get the 2 fighting me.
Okay, that's a dex save, right, for both of them?
Yes.
1 succeeds, 1 fails.
5 and 2. That's not very good.
Okay. Yeah, one of them goes, "Ow!" sort of beating at the fire. The other one mostly ignores it, as he just very slightly singed by it. Anything else?
As a bonus action, I would like to turn into a giant elk.
Okay. Antlers break out of your skull, and this massive hoof thing grows up in front of the 2 balloons, like. The frog faces lend themselves very well to an expression of surprise, as you now discover. Like their eyes going even wider, and their mouths hanging open. Okay, that was Karga's turn. Carlavel, you're up next. You have 2 people trying to hit you, but they're more likely to hit each other from what you've seen so far.
I'm going to. I have a big one too.
Yes, you have one of the large, big frog things that also leapt up and tried to bite you, but missed.
He's going to get punched.
All right. Bum, 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 bum. Are you using fists or a weapon?
Fist.
All right.
It's magical.
Okay.
20.
20 hits.
5 point.
Okay.
That doesn't.
What's the second attack? 8. Yeah, that misses.
Ooh, nope, sorry. Yeah, and Fury of Blow.
Okay, so you can do a bonus action attack free, or you can do 2 bonus action attacks as for 1 key point, basically.
Yeah, Fury of Blow is better.
Okay, so 2 more attacks. Go for it.
This one is a 24.
Yep, hits for sure.
And he has to make a dexterity save or be knocked prone.
Okay, that is a 12, sorry. I'm guessing.
How is it? What is it?
Your DC is 15, so yeah, you knock the thing over, the large toad thing.
Advantage on the second one.
Yep, and also roll damage for the first. Oh, critical hits, excellent.
First damage was 4, second damage is 11.
Okay.
And it can take reaction until the end of my turn.
It can never take reactions again, as you just like... And one of your fists actually goes through the skin into the body, and you like rip it out, and you have this froggish slime now all over you. And the thing just...
I'll turn to one of the small one and make it sign to come.
Okay. They look at each other. Kalifos, you are very fast at the moment.
Yes, I'm going to strike at whoever is fucking nearest to me.
You have
one of the
2 bullywugs that are standing next to you. One of them already has like a slightly singed face, and you have 1 bullywug that would be within range that's next to Silas.
Didn't I have 2 next to me?
You have 2, yes. 2 next to you. One of them is already wounded, and there's another one next to Silas. So 3 within striking range, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to choose the unwounded one and strike it in.
Okay. 13
nope.
is a miss, actually. It raises its little wooden shield and deflects the blade.
Oh yeah, I also just learned of something the other day. Apparently I can use my shield mastery shove action before I make an attack, so long as I make an attack that turn.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I can also use it to shove someone prone, so I'm gonna shove that creature prone, at least attempt to.
Okay, so that's an athletics check.
Yep.
Opposed?
Oh, natural 1, never mind.
Yeah, you give it a slight love tap. Doesn't really do much.
Okay, well, I make another attack.
Yep, same guy?
Yep.
Okay. Well, you're still
What's
getting
going on?
that
Yes!
Okay, then that's the third, the hasted attack, right?
And that's a sweeping attack, and I choose the guy that's wounded next to him.
Okay. So...
the guy that's wounded takes 5 damage, and the guy that's unwounded takes 14.
14. Okay, well, that guy's dead.
Nice.
So, yeah, you kill one of them. You slash through one frog face and into the side of the other with this long sword. One of them falls instantly. The one that's already has like a burn mark on its face stumbles back a bit. That is still alive. I believe that was your turn.
Yep.
Okay, with that we have the bullywugs. There are 2 dead. Well, the heavily injured one that's facing Kalifos will look around, turn, disengage, and book it back into the, like hopping away into the pond. Whoop! Very elegant jump. Barely a ripple as he splashes into the water. You can still see him, but he's like 25 feet away or something like that. So 20 feet, actually. They're not very fast on land. That was one of them. Then we have one guy facing... Oh, actually, 2 guys facing Carlovel. You haven't attacked them yet, or you haven't hit them yet. They both miss you with their spears, but they both hit you with their bite attacks. So you take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points of damage in total.
Okay.
As you block away the spears, but then you feel these like small, tiny frog teeth ripping into you. Okay, that was 2 for Carlebel. Calyphus, you have no enemy at the moment. Silas, one guy fighting you. Misses the spear, but hits the bite. Same thing as Carlebel's guys. You take 4 points of damage.
Is it piercing?
That is, yes, indeed. It is piercing,
Okay,
so you reduce to half. Yes. And we have 2 guys fighting Karga. What's your AC as the giant elk?
$14.
Okay. 1 hits, 1 misses. And the bites, also 1 hits, 1 misses. So you take, Karga, you take 4 plus 3, so 7 points of damage. As they sort of leap up to you and start stabbing and biting you in the sides, piercing through your thick hide. That was their turn. Silas, you're up.
I'm just gonna step back from the bullywog that bit me.
Yeah.
He bit me.
So that will provoke an attack of opportunity then.
That's fine.
Spear attack, yeah, hits. And it's also piercing damage, of course, and it's a hot 2 points, so 1 point for you.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna step back like 8 feet and just ray frost in his face.
Okay, sure.
So just
22, yep, that will hit for sure.
I'm not sure where the ignore the 1. That was from the crit.
Oh, that's the other one, right? So it's actually 5 points of damage.
10. It's 10 because it's 2d8.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that melts his. Well, it doesn't really melt his face. It freezes his face.
Okay. And just kept turning flames like 1 shot. That's all it takes, man.
And also relog, please, because you're starting to robot again. Well, one of the giant toads has been destroyed brutally. The other one is keen to taste some elk flesh, leaping up and gnawing on your butt, Karga. Nope, not successful though. You smack it with a hoof and hold it away, push it away from you. Karga, your turn. You have 3 enemies on you, basically. 2 bullywugs and one of those giant frog things.
I will do a ram attack, I guess, at the big guy.
Yep, go for it.
13.
13 hits, yeah.
Oops, forgot the slash. 2d6 plus 4.
Holy shit, 14 points of damage, not bad. Yeah, that one's not looking good as you smack it.
And as a bonus action, I'd like to hit it with my flaming sphere.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Sure. That's a dex save, right?
Yep.
And that will be a fail.
Additional 4.
That's exactly enough to kill it. Yeah, you knock it, you take it like on your antlers, smack it up into the air, and then move the flaming sphere where it lands. It lands there. It says, "Aah!" As it starts cooking, and it smells like a French kitchen now in here. So much for that. Carlebel, you're up next.
Punch, punch, punch.
Okay. Misses.
Second strike. Hits.
Hits.
9 points of
9
damage.
points. Still alive.
One of the bottom frog. I'll keep it like this.
You can still do a third attack for free, or as a bonus action anyway.
Oh no, it's not free of. It's not free of blow. It's just 9.
15 does hit. Yeah, 15 does hit.
No, because that's with my dex proficiency. Not. It's not an offhand. Oh no.
No, it's
No,
fine.
I mean, you still get the full like dex and proficiency
Yeah,
for
you
the
still
attack.
get-
You just don't get the.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
You have one attack less, basically. That's just your monk thing. Roll damage, please.
Yeah, it's
4. Yeah. You the creature dodges the first attack, but then the second one hits it in the stomach, and the third one just uppercut and its neck breaks from the impact and falls down dead.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to do, Carlovell?
That's good.
No? Okay, Kalifos, you're up next.
Yeah.
You're sort of running out of enemies. There's one Bullywug standing next to Carlovell
Oh.
and 2 next to Carlovell.
I
Yep.
just realized I need to make 2 con saves for concentration.
Oh yeah, that's correct with DC 10.
I should also do that.
Well,
Just
guess
flaming through his
Kalifos isn't
concentration.
doing anything this
Oh,
turn.
he's no longer hasted. That one damage that you took, that just broke your concentration.
What? So it's just 2 Bullywugs left.
Yes, 3 Bullywugs. 1 fighting Carlovell and 2 fighting Karga. And one of them is running away. So 4 technically alive, but 3 still in combat.
The big guys are all dead too.
Yes, the 2 giant frogs have both been dispatched fairly brutally.
Okay, well, the guy that ran away from me, how far down on the water is he?
Not far. He's just like, you can still see him. There's maybe just a foot of water above his head or so.
It's probably too far to
Yeah.
shoot an arrow through. Okay, I'm just gonna slash at the guy next to Silas.
You actually can't do anything
Yeah,
because
he's already dead. The guy next to Silas has a
Oh, yeah.
Frozen
He's
thing
has a
thrown
cooldown.
over.
thing.
Hey, school down.
yeah. For this round, you can't really do anything. Sorry.
We're taking the accidents until the next turn. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's my turn then, I guess.
Oh, that's right. Hey, I forgot about that. Yeah. So you're just standing there looking at Silas. Sort of, really?
Clenching my fist in preparation.
Right. Okay. Well, the Bullywugs are not so happy with things, so they will start fleeing, just like rah, 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 and leaping away into all directions. They are clear-headed enough to disengage, so you don't get any attacks of opportunity, and they all get about 20 feet because that's their movement speed, and leap into the water. So we have 4 dead and 4 fleeing. One of the fleeing ones is fairly heavily injured, which means it is Silas's turn.
I'm not going to fire it with an intent to actually hit, but I'm just going to fire off another ray of frost at one of the fleeing ones, just to give him a little more incentive to keep going.
Okay, so you deliberately aim next to him into the water or something like
Yeah,
that.
just shoot near him.
Okay, there's like the water freezes next to him. He looks back to you and then continues running.
Yeah.
Or speeds up anyway. Karga, would you like to do anything?
No.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like it's worth chasing them.
Carlovell?
I could catch one and ask them question, but I don't know if we can communicate. So
Up to you.
That is true.
I'm going to try anyway.
What do you want to try?
Didn't we talk to a frog person a very, very long time ago?
I'm going to go and grapple one.
Okay, which one? One, the heavily injured one, or one of the other ones?
One of the injured ones.
There's only one injured one.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm guessing you're chasing the guy who fought you.
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. Okay, well, you have... What's your movement speed at the moment?
45.
Yeah, so there's no way he can... his movement speed on land is 20 feet. So you can easily get to them, but that means you have to jump into one of the ponds to grapple with him in the water, basically. Is that what you want to...
Less than.
Okay, so you just stay.
Yeah, and I'm running after them next to the pond to show them that if they come up, I'm faster than them.
All right, I see. So you just chase them off, sort of. Okay. Yeah, they are very eager to get away. Like they sometimes they like pop up, see like you're still after them, and you follow them for like 100 yards or so, and eventually they just they're actually pretty fast underwater, but not as fast as you are on land. You're still slightly faster. They have 40 feet swimming speed, but with your 45, you're still faster than them. Yeah, eventually I assume, let them go.
Yeah, just
move too far away from the group.
I basically do one turn of chasing them.
Okay, right. Okay, so they are moving away in sort of a southeasterly direction.
So not where we're going.
No.
We're going southwest.
Yeah, you're going southwest. They're moving away southeast.
Okay.
Well.
Oh yeah, I punched Silas in the face.
Oh shit.
Okay, 1 damage. Actually, what's your strength? It's 3 damage, right? Your strength modifier is +2?
Yep.
Yep, 3 damage.
I took as much damage from Kalifos in that one punch as I did that whole fight.
Okay.
Hellish Rebuke. No.
I'll
If only.
avoid punching people in the face.
The curtain of the swamp sound draws around you once more.
Well, I think it's safe to say we're in Bullywug territory then.
Yeah. Apparently so. Shall we? That's like the direction we were heading before, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not going that way.
Yeah.
And
hopefully we're moving away from one of our villages.
And seeing how they behaved, they're not the threat for the village.
No.
And seeing how they were posted on trees.
Yeah. We can deal with them later, if need be.
All right, you continue on your path.
Mm-hmm.
On we go.
Okay. You move in a southwesterly direction, aiming for that sort of southwesterly tip of the swamp, where you can see the ruin on your map. Karga, are you still leading the way, or does someone else want to try their luck?
I'm trying to figure out if I'm still an elk, because I keep forgetting how long I can stay in.
Half your level in hours. So you're level 7.
So I can stay an elk for 3.5 hours.
You wanted to?
It seems like it would be worth staying an elk in case we run into something else, I guess.
Well, you do realize that an elk is not the best creature for this type of landscape, because you're very heavy as a giant elk, and the area is very muddy.
Elk aren't bad in muddy and water and rivers.
Well, they're heavy. That's the problem. So she sinks in deep into the mud. She can still walk. Like, it's not like she's gonna die or anything or taking damage. It's just sort of feels clumsy in a way.
I'll drop beast shape.
Okay, so you're still an elk.
No, I'll drop it.
Oh, you drop it. Sorry, I thought I heard I don't drop. Okay, cool. So who is leading the way? Karga still leading your path?
I can lead, yeah.
Okay, so give me a survival check, please, for orientation. That worked very well last time. Okay, so it's not really the best known territory, a swamp, but you managed to lead you in a sort of, well, more or less westerly direction, avoiding some of the heaviest, trickiest parts. You do realize after a while that there are, as you're heading more and further in their direction, there's a few like bits and pieces of like old ruins in this swamp. There's hardly anything left. It's just like a piece of a wall here, or a crumbled column that's overgrown completely there. But it looks like a long time ago there was a few buildings here and there, maybe some sort of settlement or something. You're not quite sure. Whatever it wasn't either. It was not constructed as a very permanent thing, mostly made of wood and rotten away, or it's very, very old because the swamp has mostly reclaimed it.
Is there any remnants of like writing or artwork or anything on?
Relog first, and I'll answer.
Okay.
How long has it been we've been traveling?
You've been traveling for about maybe 4 hours now, so it's like not quite noon. It's a bit up before noon. So looking at some of the, you stop and look at some of the ruins. Give me a quick investigation check. 19. There's no writing as such, but just judging by the type of like the walls, how they were constructed and such, you would say it was probably a human civilization or some sort of human buildings anyway.
Do I guess it's of how old?
Probably a couple 100 years.
Okay.
It looks like it was fairly primitive. It doesn't look like modern buildings. It's more like that type of buildings where you sort of like pile up stones on top of each other and then sort of connect them with using some sort of maybe mud or something, or some sort of, I don't know, primitive concrete equivalent or something like that you sort of pour in between. But yeah, some of them are still standing.
Okay.
You continue on your path for a few hours, and you do realize that you're moving way slower here than you would in like a plains situation. So what you figured would take you maybe about like, let's say about maybe 8 hours of travel or so, get to this ruin that you're aiming for, is probably going to take you nearly double that. So pretty much the whole day of walking. You probably won't get to the ocean until nightfall, assuming you find that ruin that you want to find anyway.
Had we calculated how much time we could spend in here before we have to start heading back?
About 2 days.
Yeah, I think you said 2 days. Yes. So
Okay.
This is the 10th day of your ultimatum, basically. So if you spend one here and another one out, that will be 11 days. You have 3 days. You'd have 3 days left. That's cutting it fairly close, but you would be about that much time. That's like your maximum time that you can spend in here, basically.
We want to arrive 2 days before, also.
Yeah, that might be tricky already.
Yeah. I don't think we can head much deeper than this, unfortunately.
Should we maybe start heading kind of northwest-ish? See if we can. See if we catch anything on our way out.
Sure. I mean, we can keep going through the night and just sleep in the tavern once we get home.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So does that make do you want to go a little bit deeper before we head back? Is it?
I meant if we want to save time, we can just
okay,
keep going back.
Just keep going. Right.
Yeah. We can catch up on the sleep. 3 days journey there,
Sure.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we don't even know what we're looking for in here specifically. Like, we just have a vague idea that there's something here.
Yeah. Well, after the Stormlord.
Yeah.
It's the Stormlord or the Lightning Lord?
Lightning Lord.
Lightning Lord.
Every single time.
Was there more bodies stamped to the trees, or?
No, you only saw the couple ones that were sort of in the same area, close to the edge of the swamp. You haven't seen any other further than that.
We haven't seen any other like markings or anything like that would
Well, you
suggest to me
saw a
like
couple of like markings and such, but you're not sure if they were like animal markings or something.
okay, so nothing like clearly like demarcation
see
of like civilization, even
No,
relic or otherwise.
Ruins? No, not really. I mean, there's tracks everywhere, but there's a lot of animal life in here. So, as I said, it's maybe about an hour before noon. You've been walking for about maybe 4 hours now in the swamp. What do you want to do? You want to continue on, or I'm assuming you just have like a short break and a quick bite, or something.
How about we like head west for a couple hours, see if anything catches our attention, and then we can just get out of here if we're not finding anything.
Okay, sounds good.
Sure.
Would any of you benefit of a short rest?
I mean, I would benefit from it, sure.
Sort of, kind of, not really.
I'm going to keep going, but
Yeah.
Well, it's not critical for me.
Yeah, let's just keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're now heading west, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk for maybe about an hour or so, and then you come upon what looks to be one of those ruins, basically the ones you've seen. This one is a little better preserved. It's like a single column with pieces of a wall attached to it, and then there's a little bit of like stone floor basically beyond it, overgrown, of course. However, there is someone has removed the vines, basically the vines and the bushes and such. The area has been cleaned out a little bit, so that there is actually like a patch of even stone ground in the area, maybe about like a 6 foot radius or so, like a vague circle. And there is what looks to be the remains of some sort of camp here. And they look fairly fresh from what you can tell, maybe if at most a day old.
okay. But there's nobody around the camp?
Not from what you can tell, no.
So how far off are we from it?
You're about maybe 30, 40 feet away from it, sort of looking at
okay. We're close.
Yeah, fairly close. It's not like a massive camp. You just saw it.
Yeah.
You stumbled upon it, basically. And Karga sort of had saw it first and told you to hold, and you're now
Okay.
like standing.
I'm gonna do my thought radar thing.
What's the range on that?
I think it's 30 feet, so it's not super far, but I just want to get an immediate. Oh God, this is a wall of text. Let me see. You can also use this skill. 30 feet, yeah.
Okay. You do actually detect 2 thinking creatures hiding amongst the trees to your left, about 20 feet away or so. And they are looking at you with curiosity and animosity. But they're not immediate, they don't seem like they're preparing to immediately attack you. They seem more like, who the hell is this sort of thing. But these creatures, judging by their minds, they don't seem human to you. Like the mindset feels off.
Does it feel reptilian or amphibian, perhaps?
Maybe. Hard to say. I mean, you don't really have much
experience
touching amphibious and reptilian mindsets.
Yeah.
But maybe.
But it feels alien.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'll quietly point out to the group. We have yet more watchers.
You point out with words, I see.
Yeah. No, I'm not like arm extended, like, oh, over there, guys. And I'm like, hey, over that direction.
Okay.
And yeah, do we want to start picking through the camp and see what they do, or
If we watched,
Should I have a quick look, anyone? I mean, I would be curious to look for anything that's a sign of like magic shit.
I mean,
What
yeah,
do people do in
I
old
can-
ruins? Probably, you know, probably nothing good.
I could take 10 minutes if you want to detect magic.
I'm gonna just try and discreetly look around, see if I can locate the things that are watching us.
Check. You have a understanding where they are, so you have advantage on the perception because I'm guessing that Silas
I would
will,
look
like
too.
amongst those trees over there.
I would look too.
Okay. 17 is just barely enough. They are hiding fairly well, but with Silas' help, you do spot two shapes, humanoid shapes, hiding amongst the trees. They are scaled creatures. Their scales are sort of this greenish gray color, blending in with the surrounding foliage quite well. And they're both clutching spears, sort of hunkered down, and their reptilian eyes are staring at you as they are completely unmoving. As I said, fairly well hidden. They have these sort of yellowish crests growing on their heads and over their back. This is fairly muscular, like their shoulders that you can see, and their arms are stretched, that the scaly skin is stretched over thick muscle.
I could go and take a quick look at them.
At the lizard men. I mean, I could try shouting at them.
Some old-fashioned tiefling diplomacy.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here, or I will shoot you.
I'm gonna.
I think I can move toward them quite rapidly.
Okay.
Are you going to?
They're only about, as I said, about 20 feet away from you. You're not that far.
Just keep them in the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
Our business, I think.
I'm gonna start moving in towards like the column and looking for, again, writing or artwork or anything.
You don't see any writing or artwork as such. You do see what looks to be the remains of a campfire. You do see several like small animals that are half cooked and pierced through like sticks, like grill basically over the campfire lying around. There's a few patches of armor and there is two large shields that have these sort of wicked bone spikes protruding out of them, lying there. And a bunch of javelins, about maybe half a dozen or so, in a bundle.
I think this might be their camp.
Can we get an idea from the campsite how many were here?
It's not a very large camp, so probably only a handful. Maybe even just the two that you saw, or maybe 3 or 4 at the most.
Okay.
Could I? I'll say I'll. Okay. Don't like being watched. How would they behave if we watch them? And I'm going to break from the group and try to stealth around them.
Oh, so you're walking like towards them?
I'm stealthing around. So yeah, I'm.
Okay. Well,
going...
they are watching you at the moment, so you'd have to roll with disadvantage on the stealth.
Is there any cover?
Yeah, there's plenty of cover. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to stealth at all. But they're watching you, so you'd have to sort of manage to get away without them noticing. Which that's why you have the disadvantage. They already have a very clear idea where you are.
Well, at least I'll try to hide in cover.
Yeah. 10. No. So
Yeah.
you move around and you sort of look around a bit, and you know where they are, and you sort of try not to glance at them too obviously. You let your eyes run around over the foliage, and you see one of them has sort of leaned to the side a little bit and is staring straight at you. He's definitely keeping an eye on you. They know where you are.
I'm splitting the attention then.
Yeah, one of them is watching you, and the other one seems to be looking at the group that's sort of rummaging around in their camp. They haven't moved yet.
I mean, we don't necessarily need to start shit with them if we don't have to, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Carla, Karga, Kalivos. Anything of interest to you here?
Content with not starting shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do we just want to leave?
Do we want to see if there's magic around here at all? I guess can I do an Arcana check to see if I get like a sense of anything?
Yeah, certainly.
I get the feeling this is just a normal camp from like
Probably.
2 scouts,
15,
probably.
Yeah, 15.
You don't sense any magic emanating from anywhere nearby.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think there's much for us here. Unless we want to try talking to them. I don't think they want to talk to us, so.
Probably not.
Just leave.
Yeah. I'll message Carvel and say, hey, but I think we're just gonna let him be and go.
Yeah.
Would we know what language lizardmen speak?
That would be a history check.
That's gonna go well.
17.
Well.
Oh, so Marga, you have no idea. However, Silas, firstly, they're called lizard folk, not lizard men. And secondly, they would most likely speak Draconic. Which, as I just realized, Kalifos actually speaks because he's wearing the dragon shard armor.
Yeah, I do actually.
Oh shit!
I forgot about that.
Well, I forgot about it too.
Yeah, I think Silas also kind of, because like I identified it, so I kind of like realized it as well. Like looking, it's like, oh, this changes options again. Do we want to talk to them?
Do we?
I mean, we can ask them, because if there's something new that's moved into their territory, it might give us an idea of what we're even looking for, if anything.
Well, should I at least try to greet the Newtman?
Lizard folk, yes.
Newtman, got it.
Can I attune to that armor?
Just want to talk.
God, I wish I spoke Draconic. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're gonna try to fight us. They're just 2 against us. 4
of us, yeah.
Yeah. So either we just leave or we
try it. Look, ask. We can try to ask a few questions, see if they're willing to talk. Greet them carefully.
Okay, so in Draconic, I'm just gonna call out, hello, we know you're there. We just wanted to talk, and just stare straight at them.
Okay, you can see both of them unmoving for a few seconds, unblinking. Then they sort of look at each other, look at you, and then they both step out of hiding. These 2 large, fairly muscular figures, both clutching their spears, slightly hunched over, their reptilian eyes, looking at you now. One of them still keeping an eye on where Carlavel is hiding, and the other one now looking at Kalifos. He looks as if you can say maybe surprised. It's hard to say that their faces don't have much expression as such. He opens his mouth and he says, "You speak our language."
Yes, I do.
Why do you come here?
Just traveling, exploring, really, more than anything.
Exploring.
Yes.
Your kind, or any kind, does not come here.
Well, we're not the usual of our kind, so to speak.
You wear another skin.
Yes, that I took from another dead person.
It is dragon skin.
It is. Was it someone important to you?
We do not know. We have never seen a dragon.
Right. Well, we're heading out of here, anyways. And I say in common, like, do we really even want to ask them something?
Ask them if there's something new that's moved into the moors, into the swamps. Like something, if there's something that's been disrupting the way of things lately.
Right. Okay. So in Draconic, we had actually heard there was something in the swamp disrupting the balance of things.
They look at each other, and the other one, the one that's keeping an eye on Carlavel, says, "Darstan."
Sorry?
Darstan.
Darstan.
She has taken control.
Of
the opal scales. He says this land will be ours to conquer.
I see. Does he have any quarrel with the Lightning Lord?
We know not of this name.
Okay. Just answer.
We are not followers of Darstan. We are true hearts. We follow Onersli.
Okay. Huh. Onersli, you said?
Yes, wise Onersli, eldest of our kind. Darstan wanted to slay him, but we escaped. Darstan is building an army.
Well, see, if he wants to take this whole land, we're gonna have a problem with him. You say he wants to take the whole island, not just the swamp?
He is building an army. He has subjugated other beings of the swamp, forced them to follow him. He plots with the Black One.
Black One?
Yes. He comes from outside.
Does he come in a black mist?
No. He comes on foot. He is like us, but not like us.
Huh. Like you how? Not like you how, specifically.
His skin is like ours, but his figure is like yours. The blood of dragons lies thicker in his veins than in ours.
Huh. Interesting. Where does he usually enter from?
He comes from the north, but the other one sort of takes the word and says, we do not know. He speaks to Darstan the tyrant, not to us true hearts. He is enemy to us. It was the Black One that asked Darstan for Ornersli's head.
Well, sounds like we might have a potentially common enemy if that's the case. Well, how receptive do you think the wise Ornersli would be to maybe meeting us?
Why?
Well, we came to investigate what was disturbing the balance because it was prophesied to threaten the entire island.
As you say the word prophesize, you can see their eyes slightly widen, and they look at each other and then look back at you. Without comment, though.
And we wish to stop this.
If you are enemies of Darstan, you might be friends of the true hearts.
Well, we don't really have the time right now, but if we were to come back in, say, a week-ish, do we have a way to maybe contact you?
Not. I do not know.
How do we tell the opal scales from the true hearts, maybe? That's a better question, perhaps.
They bear the mark of Darstan. And he sort of reaches up and does like a motion like this down his face.
That's... Well, maybe you can at least bring word to the rest of your tribe that
The
people
rest
from outside,
tribe serves Darstan.
the rest of the true hearts, I mean.
We shall.
Okay, well. I need to relay all of this to the others.
They nod.
Yeah, and I just... Okay, so I think we may have an ally here. Apparently there are opal scales and true hearts, and these are true hearts, and the opal scales follow the black one. Which sounds... Yeah, apparently the black one is trying to take over the entire island, and I think that's the guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like our second shadow.
Yeah.
Where is this black one?
Robot.
That's a question. I asked them in Draconic if they know where he is.
You ask him, sorry, what do you ask him?
If they know where Darstan specifically has it,
Sun is with his army.
which is
He points sort of east of here.
and we're about like in this region right now. Click. Nope, that's not click. There, there, about there, ish.
Yeah, you're sort of here somewhere, and he's pointing over like that way, somewhere.
Okay, well, he's to the east apparently.
I'm not sure we'll have the time to search that
No.
swamp. So
I told them we would have to leave. We don't have time, but that they might want to relay to the rest of their kinsmen that we might want to ally with them.
Did they say if this person is human, elf, lizard?
Well, there's a dude that leads the opal scales, and then that dude apparently follows the dark one, which comes from outside and is apparently more dragonkin than the rest of them.
So, dragonborn?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Half dragons, dragonborn. I don't know.
Okay.
He comes from outside, at least.
Okay.
Not a lot of
And-
dragonborn on this island.
No.
I hate to say it, but I only know of a single dragonborn on the entire island.
well,
Unless he can teleport, probably not him.
Yeah,
We
probably
know
not.
White dragonborn,
Yeah.
Sorry?
who is very
Yeah.
not keen on leaving Thornshire.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I should ask them in Draconic.
And you-
Is this person black? The color black?
Yes, he has scales, the shade of night.
So it's probably a black dragonborn then.
anyway, yeah. You haven't explored the floating castle, so saying on the island there's no dragonborn.
Well, see, I think the black one is not in league with the Lightning Lord. I think the rivals actually.
Not that I think you're necessarily wrong. I just don't. What makes you think that?
Just the way that the elf guy reacted to when we said we were heading into the swamp.
They might approach the swamp as a more political way, rallying the inhabitants instead of stomping them. Divide to conquer.
Yeah, allying the true hearts and helping them free themselves of apparently the oppression of this Darstan fellow will probably make them a lot more agreeable to further diplomatic relations as well. Well, is there anything else we want to talk about?
If they could, if they really want us to help them in the conflict, they should give us, they should guide us to it. But if not, it has to wait. We can't go in.
Yeah. I'm gonna tell them that we will be returning within 1 to 2 weeks.
They nod without expression.
Yeah.
And maybe stuff will have fixed itself.
Yeah. Oh, also, apparently the opal scales have a scar down the side of their face, and the true hearts don't. So that's how you tell them apart.
Okay, mark on the face, we can punch them.
Yeah. Scar on the face, slice their head off. Okay, well, I think that's everything, right? Everything we want to.
I don't have any immediately pressing questions, I guess.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna thank the newsmen for their time. And
Okay, they just look at you unblinking.
We're gonna head off now. We'll return within 1 to 2 weeks and attempt to contact you. Maybe try to help you with the star stand thing.
We are to be found in a place once built by your kind, where the edge of the swamp touches the great water.
Well, that's oddly enough the place we were heading to, actually. So I suppose that's coincidental then. Well, we'll be out of your camp and wish you a good day.
Okay, they just stand there.
Yep. Okay, well,
Okay.
time to leave, guys. This is getting awkward.
Let's go. Stop saying goodbye. Let's just go.
Bolted!
So you just slowly move away, sort of a few nods, and they just stand there, like their gazes following you without any expression, while you slowly walk away into the brush, the forest.
Oh yeah,
these are so weird.
apparently the True Hearts, the guys we just met, their home base is where we were heading.
Oh. Well,
Yep.
let's... No?
Yeah. Well, saved us the travel there, I suppose.
Yeah. Back to
Well,
Windermere?
Yeah, in that case, we can just head straight back to Wondermere, I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like heading straight north?
Yeah.
Do you want to look at that horse?
We can tell one of the villages we left a horse there or something. Yes.
Okay. So you're just heading straight north, right? So what you said?
Yeah.
From what you figure, it will take you about 2.5, 3 hours to get out of the swamp, so to the edge of the swamp. So that's like mid-afternoon that you'll get out, basically. Really, like, or late afternoon at the latest. But anyway, we'll see how fast it actually goes. Karga, give me a survival check, please, since I assume that you're all taking lead again.
I'm good in cities, not in swamps.
15. All right. Yeah, you're moving fairly fast. Yeah, you're starting to get the hang of it. Like figuring out, okay, following this path might be like a dead end. It has to would force us to back away and then look for another way and such. And like this is more a safer path and such. You're starting to adapt to your new environment, as such. And you're heading straight north, leaving the lizard camp far behind and moving. I mean, still slower, obviously, on the plains, but faster than you were just a few hours ago. As I said, Karga seems to be leading you a bit better now, or maybe the terrain itself is slightly easier traversable. It's hard to say. So you said Karga is up front, and who's at the back of you guys?
I'll be
Okay. What's your passive perception?
14.
14. Okay. You start after about maybe 2 hours or so. You start hearing noise behind you, like footsteps, but several footsteps. You stop, you look back. While there's nothing to be seen, you can definitely hear a group of people, individuals, whatever, seems to be slowly coming, or not so slowly, in fact, coming towards you. Still not visible with all the brush and such, but they seem to be moving, from what you can hear, moving fairly fast. Not running, but like traveling faster than you are.
So it's not the frog one.
Probably not. And you also hear, actually, give me a perception check. See how much you can make out. Okay, you can hear at least one set of footsteps sounds quite heavy, like some sort of larger creature.
I'll say relatively quietly to the others, there's people behind. A group. Be prepared.
Yeah, I'll take a glance back. Did you see what kind of people they were, Carlo? Are they bullywugs or lizard folk? Or?
Doesn't seem to know.
Okay.
I'm gonna have a look behind us and see if I can see.
Okay, give me a perception check. So you stop, you sort of try to pierce the brush behind you. 15. You spot movement about maybe 100 to 120 yards behind you. There are several individuals. You think they might be lizard folk, and one is a larger creature that sort of towers above the lizard folk. But like also green-skinned, but it has this large misshapen head with like a long hooked nose.
So it's lizard folk and what I assume a troll looks like in my imagination.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
How far away
Did
are
I
they?
get?
You said 100.
They're about 120, 130 yards behind you at the moment.
Did I get like a sense of how many there are? Just
You'd say probably about half a dozen lizard folk-ish.
And one troll.
And
half a dozen and a troll. I think we could take them.
Sorry, you said 120 feet or 120 yards?
No, yards. Yeah.
Okay, so they're a good distance back.
Yeah, they're still a distance away.
I probably noticed they're moving faster than us.
Yes, they are moving faster, and they look like they're coming pretty much straight towards you.
So they're gonna catch up to us. So either we prepare or we keep running.
How closely packed are they? Like, are they spread out or?
It's hard to really say. You could just call it a glimpse or two. Really, it doesn't like you kind of like scan the group properly.
Do we want to stand our ground?
Yeah, I think we do. Everyone, draw your weapons, prepare your spells, etc.
Okay, so you stop, you turn towards the direction they're coming from.
Yeah.
Get your weapons out. Okay.
Draw my bow.
You wait for maybe about.
Is my mage armor still up at this point?
Yeah, it would be. You cast it in the morning, and it's like maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon now, so it would be slowly pushing it as like you maybe having like an hour or so left. But yeah, it's
okay. Sure.
And you wait for like 30 seconds or so, and you can see one single lizard man. It's sort of slowly crouched over, and he seems to be looking at the ground, and then looks up, sees you, and freezes, raises one arm, and does a few like quick motions with his claws, and then behind him, very slowly, steps out the rest of the group. You can clearly see these are lizard folk like the ones you've seen. They have these grayish green skin. They're very similarly armed. They have these nasty shields with the thorn spikes, the bone spikes that are attached to them. Some of them have spears. Others have these large, fairly primitive looking clubs of wood with like bone spikes protruding out of them. Behind them is one large green-skinned humanoid thing that sort of walks on, like hunched over like a gorilla sort of thing, like half on 2 legs, half on 4 legs, with a large maw full of sharp teeth, 2 small piggish eyes, and like a beak-type nose. It's about maybe, this one would be about 12 feet high, probably, if it's stretched up properly behind them. It stops behind the lizard folk and sort of looks at you at a distance and gives a snarl thing. There is in total 7 lizard folk, including the one who has a bow, who was apparently following your trail or something like that, the scout. There's 6 more. 5 of them are fully armed. And they all, as you see, they all have this scar down the sides of their face, going from over one side of their forehead, sort of over their basically to their chin. They're nearly at the very same symbol, basically. Except for one of them, he looks different. He also has a scar, but he stands a bit taller than the others. Like, he's not, the lizard folk are generally fairly tall, taller than humans a little bit, but it's kind of slightly hunched over, which makes them about the same height. This one is a bit more erect, and he is actually draped in what looks to be sort of a reddish cloak of some kind, and his flesh is tattooed with intricate sort of blackish symbols that run its path all over. He's not wearing any type of weapon that you can see or anything like that. And they stop maybe about 100 feet away from you now, staring at you. They all sort of look over to the tattooed one. And the troll sort of takes a lumbering step forward, but the tattooed one steps up behind him and bitch slaps the troll across the face.
How close to the group are they again? Sorry.
They're sorry. How close? What?
How close to the group are they?
Fairly close. The one with the bow is a bit further up. He's maybe 20 feet closer to you than the rest. And then there's the rest of the other 6 are fairly clustered together, and the troll is right behind them.
And they're within 120 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
The troll sort of snarls at the tattooed one.
Do I have time to drop a wall of fire in a ring around them?
To drop what?
A wall of fire. I'll relog in a second.
Yeah, just do a quick relog. A wall of fire. Ooh, okay.
That got intense fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
so what's the? You said wall of fire, right? What's the shape and like size or length or whatever of the wall of fire?
So I'm going to go with a 20-foot diameter ring of fire.
20
wall.
diameter is gonna catch all of them except for the scout.
Except for the scout. Perfect. The inside of that wall is going to be a bitch. The inside of the wall is going to be the real bad side.
Oh yeah, right. You can that's right. You can select one of the sides, right?
So yeah, if they're inside that ring, they're going to take 5 to 8 damage anytime they end a turn there.
Okay, so you throw up your arm. What's the range? Just let me check real quick. 20, yeah, 20 feet. That's good enough. Yeah. You throw your arms and you unleash the magic, and fire bursts from the ground, even from the water, partially because there's like streams and ponds that start steaming, and they're now surrounded by a ring of fire. They're all like start looking around and sort of pushing away from it. Even the troll stumbles forward and nearly runs over the tattooed one, who just can barely sort of step aside before the troll sort of just pushes him to the ground. The troll, and then like pushing himself into the center of the ring so that he's furthest away that he can be from the fire, and stands there. And the lizard folk, now partially pushed over by each other, all the troll stand up again and like blinking in the fire. The scout, seeing that, looks back to you and leaps behind the tree, taking like cover and notching an arrow, and not quite shooting yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna get behind a tree of my own if I can.
That's a good way to start a discussion.
They have a troll.
The tattooed one steps, after like maybe 20-30 seconds of slight chaos, pushes his way through and raises both arms, and he shouts. Sorry?
All right, go on. Because they would have been taking some damage in 30 seconds. But
right, no, the damage is only if they touch the ring of fire, right?
No. On
the end of the turn.
If they're within 10 feet of the bad side of the wall, they're taking 5 to 8 damage every round.
Oh, okay.
They're cooking in there.
Outside of the wall selected by you when you cast the direction to each creature that ends its turn within 10 feet of the side or inside of the wall, and the diameter is 20. Okay, then they're all taking damage. All right. Okay. Well, in that case, I thought you were just like stopping them, but no. In that case, they all take instant damage. Retreat everything that I just said. So they all start screaming, and the scout. still leaps behind the tree and will instantly shoot an arrow at you, Silas.
Okay.
So that's all sort of happening in the same turn. So first, you drop the ring fire, then we roll initiative.
They have time to get out.
What do you mean they have time to get out?
So like
they have it at the end of their turn.
Yeah, but they're not gonna jump through the fire. Not immediately, anyway.
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna.
So the first thing that happens is basically the fire. So just roll me the 5d8, and I'll roll dex for all of them. 22. Ooh, okay. Let's say
I will note that the interior damage is not a dex save. It's just a straight 5d8 damage if you're inside there. Yeah.
Okay.
If you're inside there, you can take 5d8.
Okay. Well, in that case, the 5 lizard folk screaming fall to the ground, smoking and burning, and just slowly dying. Yeah. So all 5 of them are dead instantly from this. The troll also takes, what was that, 22 points, you said? Right?
Yep.
Okay. He screams out, and, well, we'll see what he does anyway. And we have the tattooed one. He also takes 22 points.
I guess I should roll this.
Okay. And now we roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so let's see. We have Caliphos with a 20. Sorry, no, not Caliphos. Silas with a 20. What else do we have? Carlo with a 5. Okay.
Yeah, what's up for discussion at least? And a bit surprised.
Caliphos. Karga?
6.
Okay.
Again.
Yeah. I was just going to say you're keeping it very constant there.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we have 1 lizard folk, the hunter, the tracker, and the troll, and the tattooed guy who are still alive. So let's see. The lizard folk guy that is a 4. He's a bit slow. Okay. Okay, and last but not least, the troll. Oh, the troll's actually pretty fast. Spiked to action by the fire, I would say. Yeah, where is it? That is a chicken. Okay. Okay, so as combat starts, we have Silas. You are up first.
I'll just get behind. Hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna get behind the nearest tree or biggest cover I can find within.
Yep. There's like a
feet.
mango tree about maybe.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get behind that and.
Yep.
Do
you want to break line of sight, like completely hide, like stand behind the tree, or are you still sort of peeking
No,
out?
I'll keep like I'll try and get like 3/4 ish cover. You know,
yeah,
mostly behind the tree, but
yeah, that works.
And I'll just hold a ray of frost until like maybe if the troll manages to get within 60 feet of me.
Okay. Yeah, so they're like at the moment he's like about 100 feet or so.
Yeah.
Okay. The troll's up next, so he will roar and run straight for you, breaking out, like beating at himself. His eyes are wide with rage. He takes damage, right, when he runs through the fire?
Yeah, he makes a dex save for that, and it takes 5d8 or half.
That is a natural 20.
Oh, okay, so he takes 14 points of damage.
Okay.
That was good damage.
14 total?
Yeah.
Okay. He breaks out and he will just dash towards you. So he's now at about 40 feet distance from the group as he's like running on all fours and still beating at his flesh. Okay. That was his turn. Caliphas, you're up next.
Sorry, does he get within 60 feet?
Yes, you can. Yeah,
okay.
He's 40 feet away, so you can take a shot. What is it?
12.
Well,
No, the troll dodges, leaps to the side, and your ice blast just goes wide.
Okay.
Caliphas, you're up next.
Okay. Well, I will shoot some arrows at him then.
At the troll?
Yep.
All right, go for it. All right, critical hit, straight for the throat.
That's going to be a trip attack too.
Okay. Both hit. So just let me know how much damage the troll takes in total.
You know, if the first trip attack doesn't succeed, I'm gonna. The second trip attack is.
Okay.
Second
So
is
that's
also gonna
what is it? What's the kind of saving throw? Is it?
Strength.
Okay. That is a 20. So yeah, he succeeds.
Yeah. Okay, then it's another one again.
Okay. So how much damage? And that's a second. Yeah, he succeeds once more. 23 this time.
Okay, hold on. 9 plus 12. Hold. 9 plus 12 plus 6 plus 4. 31 damage.
Oh, holy shit. Okay.
And then I'm gonna drop my bow and draw my sword.
Yeah, one of the arrows takes the troll straight in the throat. Ah! The other one hits him in the leg. Ah! He stumbles, but he continues on.
Drop my bow, draw my sword, get in front of Silas.
Okay, the black tattooed lizard man, the lizard man leader, or whatever you would call him, will sort of drape his cloak around himself, look, and then sort of leap through the fire, jumping into the like a pond that's at the side on the side, just tackling through the wall of fire. That is a dex save. That is a 18 actually, so he does succeed.
Okay. He got a real easy.
Oh, that is a crappy damage. Yeah. So he takes 5 points. Okay. I expected a bit more, to be perfectly honest.
That was 4 1s and 7.
He leaps into the pond, basically. Protected by his cloak, I suppose, or something like that.
He slips through the part of the ring that's kind of like on the water.
Yeah, exactly. That's just half steam, more steam than fire, really.
Yeah.
All right. That was his turn. Karga, you're up next.
Uh,
The troll's about 40 feet away from you.
How badly injured does it look?
I mean, not close to death as such, but he has taken some serious damage already.
Mm.
The flesh is burned, and there's like 2 arrows deeply lodged in his flesh. In his muscles.
Why do I have weird spells chosen? I'll cast. Actually, let me read a spell super fast. Okay, I'll cast Flame Blade.
Okay, that's a bonus action, right?
Oh, is it? No, it's an action.
I think. Oh, it's an action?
And I will try to stab the sword with my flame blade, I guess.
He's about 40 feet away from you, so yeah.
Oh, he's out of my...
Yeah.
In that case, fuck it. I'll just turn into a tiger and try to pounce him.
That you can do. I'm assuming the tiger is 40
Because tigers
feet.
have 40 feet of movement.
Okay, so you guys see Karga exploding into motion, running towards the troll, and leaping down onto all fours. And while she's jumping forward, fur grows and a tiger lands and just like and leaps straight for the singed and enraged troll. Roll an attack.
Wait, what did I roll? Oh no, I did roll right. Okay. That's a miss.
Yeah, the troll just bears you aside, basically, as you try to tackle him with one arm and smacking you to the side. Is that your turn?
Yeah. They're not going to waste spell slots on.
Well, we have Carlovell next.
Yeah, I'm going to run and punch that troll.
Go for it. You have enough speed to get there, actually. 45 feet, right?
Yes.
Yep, you can reach him. You're just like 2 steps behind the tiger.
Yeah. 14.
14 misses. You smack the troll in his chest, but his muscles and the skin are so thick that nothing happens.
Fury of blow.
Okay, you smite him like twice and you're like, shit, nothing happening.
22.
22 does hit, yeah, definitely.
He must make a dex save or be knocked prone.
That is a 12. So he fails. And another attack.
Second Fury of blow with advantage, 20.
That is true. Yep, hits. So you run up, you smack him in the stomach twice, realize that doesn't work, hit him in the knee, drop him down, and then punch him in the face.
Forgot the damage for both.
Yep.
So 8 and 7, 15 points of damage.
15, okay.
Magic. It's magic.
Yep, yep. That's good to know. Okay, yeah, that troll does not look happy at all. He's burnt 2 arrows. Tiger attacked him. Now some guy's punching him in the face who's much smaller than him, but it still kind of hurts. It does not look happy. Okay, that was Carlos. So now that one remaining lizard man, the hunter, will sort of peek out behind his tree, and he will take 2 shots at Silas. You have 3/4 cover, of course.
Yep.
And no, wait, no. I'm saving my reaction for the.
No, you're not standing next to Silas anyway.
I'll make the.
Yeah, but I
first...
said I moved after him on my turn.
Oh, did you? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, you did. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you can do that. Sorry, what was that?
I'm saving it.
On whichever shot Kalipos doesn't impose disadvantage on, I'll make the other one a 5.
Okay, so you just, let's say the first one, I'm guessing?
Sure.
Okay, the first one's a 5. That misses, of course, by a mile.
Yep.
The other one? Do you want to use your disadvantage, Kalifas?
Yeah, sure.
I assume that was like you.
Nope, that also misses. You wouldn't even get close, basically. 4 arrows. And yeah, he hides behind the tree again, basically. Just looks around, 2 arrows, and like disappears. That was their turn. Silas, you're up next.
Okay. Let the wildfire go.
Yep.
It's done its job.
Yep. Roasted lizard man. Do attest to that.
I imagine there's like secondary fires at this point. But,
yeah, there's definitely small smoldering pieces of the swamp.
I'm just gonna put a magic missile into the troll.
Okay, go for it.
So, that's all right.
Okay. Okay, the troll looks very badly injured, but not quite dead yet. As the magic missile strike him in the face, his skin and scales sort of burst open. Blood flows, a lot of blood, but he's still alive. And was that your turn, Silas?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. The troll will start. You can see that the wounds start closing. And he leaps up, and with a mighty claw attack, he will attack the tiger with 1 claw attack, and he will attack Carlovel with the other claw attack, and then he will also bite Carlovel.
Why people bite me?
I don't know. You're very biteable. The claw attack against the tiger, that is a 17, definitely hits. Claw attack against Carlovel, that is a 20, that also hits. And the bite attack against Carlovel is a miss. So Karga, your tiger takes 13 points of slashing damage. And Carlovel, you take 15 points of slashing damage. 14 points of slashing damage. As the troll's claws find purchase.
Ouch.
That was his turn. Caliphus, you're up.
That's the wrong button. How far away is this troll from me right now?
He hasn't moved very much closer, so about 50 feet.
Okay. I'm gonna tap Silason's shoulder, draw my shield, and hit towards the troll.
Okay.
And then take the dodge action.
Okay. All right. You can see some splashing in the distance as you assume the one lizard man who has survived, the tattooed one, seems to be making a hasty retreat. Sorry, I'll be right back.
We gain it 5,000 gold, etc., etc.
We are now kings of the lizard folk.
Yep.
Kings and queens.
All right. That means Karga, you're up next.
I'm gonna back up half my movement so that I can try to make a pounce.
That will be an attack
at the troll.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Claw attack. That is a 12. Does that hit?
Yes.
Okay. You take another 9 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then you can pounce.
So I will attempt to pounce.
Tiger backs up a bit, leaps, and 15 is exactly what you need.
And
You leap on the side of the thrall, slashing open his chest. Roll the damage for that. And I believe you can do another attack after that, right?
no, he has to 7 damage, and he has to make a DC 14 strength save. If he gets knocked prone, I can make a second attack.
No, that's a 19. You're sort of hanging onto him on the side, slashing his chest open. But he's too big for you to push down. Only Carlovel can do that. Obviously, because he's attacking dex and not strength. Anyway, that was Karga's turn. Carlovel, speaking of Carlovel. You're up.
I'm going to use the key to disengage.
Okay.
And use wholeness of the body to heal 18 points.
Cool. Okay, so you leap back, you focus, and your wounds start closing like the trolls. In fact, even more.
And I'm
all right.
I'm standing at my range and my speed of the instant at 40 feet.
Sure. Yeah. The lizard folk hunter will take 2 more shots at Silas and then start running away as well. First shot, that misses. Hits the tree next to you, close but not quite hit. Doesn't quite reach you. Second shot actually does hit. And you take 10 points of piercing damage, so 5.
Okay, so 5. Right.
That rogue is very handy.
Yes, it is.
And he runs, or starts retreating anyway. Silas, your turn.
Let's cast slow on the troll.
What's saving throws that? Wisdom?
Wisdom, I believe.
Okay. That is a 0.
Okay, so he can only make 1 attack per turn now, -2 AC, and -2 on dex saving throws, etc. Oh, and it can't he cannot use reactions.
Yeah,
so.
the slow goes from the troll goes from to slow motion roar. Okay. The troll's turn. He will regenerate some of his hit points once more as several wounds start closing. Karga, you can see that from really up close. Quite fascinating, if it wasn't such an ugly creature. And then he will try to slash open Karga's side, which he fails. 11, probably not a hit, right, on the tiger? No, okay. And he starts to tries to shake off the slow. No, still slowed. Kalifos.
Yes, I'm going to head the rest of the way to the troll.
Yep, you get there. You're only
and I'm gonna start slashing into him.
Go for it.
My long sword of wounding.
Okay.
Does that hit?
Hit. Yes.
That's also gonna be a wound, and it's gonna be a trip attack.
Okay.
Then another attack.
Wait. So that's a wound. That's a DC. What is it on the Constitution saving throw?
I don't remember.
Oh, seriously? Do I have to get up my?
No. Flat 15.
Okay. Succeeds. So he's not wounded.
Okay.
Oh, actually, no. Sorry. That's not how it works. He's automatically wounded, and you have to roll it on his next turn.
Right.
So he is wounded, and because he is wounded, he cannot regenerate, which means you just run up and chop him up. How do you want to finish him?
As he's going in for another nibble of a very delicious monk, I'm going to just shove my sword straight through the top of his.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm away
run
from
up.
him.
Yeah. Well, he's trying to bite Karga, and you just the longsword goes in, comes out the back of his skull. And the troll's eyes look at you, and you can see that he's trying to push back, and the wound is starting to close, but there's a surge of magic, of necrotic energy coming from your sword, and the regeneration stops, and the troll's eyes go wide, and he falls to his knees. Karga sort of leaps off of him, and he falls to the side. Still sort of twitching on the ground, but life leaves him. Okay, that was the troll dead. Your other two opponents are in very fast retreat at the moment. Technically, it would be Karga's turn now.
How far away are they?
You're not sure where the leader is because he's already had 2 good turns to flee. So he's out of view for now. You do see the archer running down the path from where they came from. He would be about 120 feet away from you at the moment. Actually, no, sorry, you were closer. You're 40 feet. You were so 80 feet from you.
Yeah, I'll dash and catch up with him.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that, of course. Carlovel, you're up next.
Seeing the tiger's going after the scout, I'll try to dash after the leader.
Give me a perception check to see if you can figure out where he went, because you lost sight of him while you were fighting the troll.
15.
You're not sure where he is. He leapt into the pond, and you're not sure where he went from there.
I'll still dash towards the pond.
Okay. So you're moving 90 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're about 30 feet behind Karga, sort of. Okay. The lizard man, the hunter, let's see. He sees the tiger coming, and you can see sort of resignation in his eyes, Karga, and he drops his bow, turns around, draws his club and his shield, and leaps to meet you in midair. First attack with the club. Strikes true, and the second attack he will use his spiked shield to push it into you as well. That misses. So you take 6 points of bludgeoning damage as the club strikes your head. And he just snarls at you, getting ready to sell his life as no, actually that doesn't work in English. Forget that. That was a German expression I was trying to use. He's getting ready to, fight to the death, clearly.
Here's what that question was now.
Silas, your turn.
Oh, sorry, I got trying to figure out what the question might be. Sorry. I mean, everybody's pretty far away at this point, I guess.
You're about 120 feet away from where the fight is happening between Karga and this archer or this warrior.
I don't know. I could jog up a magic missile with the guy, I guess. Yeah,
Magic
sure.
missile?
Sure.
Okay.
I'll jog up a little bit.
Go for it. $14 points. All right. Yeah, the magic missiles fly past the tiger, smashing into the body of this lizard man warrior, but he shakes off the pain and stands. Still clutching his club and his shield, the bow trampled down underfoot. Anything else, Silas? And relog also, you're starting to robot.
Oh, yeah, no.
Kalifos.
Yes, I'm just gonna walk over and pick up my bow and sheath my sword and just sort of look at Karga and wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karga, your turn.
Oh, I'm too close for him for a pounce attack. I'll just
You're standing right in front of him.
claw him then.
Okay.
Or wait, let me check something. Bite him then.
Yep, you can do that too. 20 hits. Nine points. Yeah, he's not looking good at all now. As you rip into one of his arms, rip out a large chunk of flesh. Blood is streaming out. He stumbles a bit, shakes his head, still standing. Carlovel, your turn.
Can I check if I see again if I see something more where I am?
Certainly, yeah.
Don't think so. 14.
No, you're not sure. There's a lot of vegetation everywhere. You're not sure where this guy went.
I'm going to help our tiger friend and try to capture the remaining one.
Okay, so you want to knock him unconscious or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
So non-lethal strikes.
The tiger is fighting him. Yeah, you can do your attacks if you want. 14 misses. No, he catches on the shield.
24.
24 hits. Yeah, roll damage for that. Yeah, that's enough. He blocks your first attack, but with the second attack, you sort of push his shield aside and punch him straight in the throat. And he goes and falls over unconscious.
Okay.
All right, and with that, the fight is over, and we'll go into a short break, guys, about 5 minutes, and pick it up from there.
Sure.
Yep. Cool. See you soon.
Bye.
All right, looks like everyone is here except for Martin, so we'll just jump back in. Oh, there he is.
Hold on, my webcam has fallen down.
Yeah, we can see
This is a good time to test, actually. What do you think about this camera? Okay, and it's fucking... God damn it. Why are you... Hold on, I'll fix this. 1 second. IP camera, there. Are you gonna work now?
Come on, Martin, we're live. There's like thousands of people watching. We don't have time.
There we go. Hi.
There it is.
It's way higher quality, but it's have to be like down here.
Okay.
Here. Because it's my phone. This is my phone, so.
Okay. It works for me, really.
Yeah.
Seems fine.
Okay. Anyway, so let's jump back in. You have burned a bunch of lizard men. Their leader seems to have escaped. You have killed a troll, and there is now one unconscious lizard man hunter, tracker, whatever he is, on the ground between the tiger and Carlovel.
Just to double check, we are on like semi-solid ground, so he's not like sinking and drowning.
You're on fairly. I mean, it's like muddy ground, but it's solid enough. No, he's not drowning.
Okay, good.
There's like a pond off to your right, maybe about 12, 15 feet away, but that's not. Yeah, the water's not close enough. The water's still a little steaming. And there's about 3 or 4 like small flames still burning on the side where patches of vegetation have caught fire. But it doesn't look like it's very likely to spread. The swamp is too wet a place for that fire to catch on, really.
That's good.
I'm removing his weapons and...
Okay.
Yeah, and I just kind of catch up with the Khalifas and so, yeah, that went well.
Yeah, where did that come from?
I've been trying. I'm toying with some new ideas.
Right.
It's kind of the one flashy thing I have currently. So
I'm going to de-tiger and say, yes, that's very impressive. You'll have to tell me how you did that. Because I have that spell too, and I didn't realize it was so awesome.
Wow. we'll swap notes.
Excellent.
Okay.
It's a pretty cool spell.
Oh, level 4. That's already getting into decently powerful stuff now.
I mean, I melted 5 people in a round, so.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry, that's an alarm for my coffee.
The plan falls apart already.
Lose experience points. Okay, so what do you want to do?
Is he dead?
You're roboting once more.
All right, I'm back.
Going to wait, but no, he's not dead because it's easier to ask about them.
Okay, well, do you want me to interrogate this newsman too?
Yeah, we could wait for him to wake up.
A little bit further away. Let's just drag him away and like
maybe
somewhere else.
right here. Let's get a little distance from the.
Tie him to and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we've got manacles and stuff. Yeah.
So what do you want to do? Do you drag him away like the way you are walking? Let's just drag him north a bit.
Sure.
Okay. Like by what you know about like the human or human-ish bodies, Carlovel, you'd say it will take him probably like an hour or so to wake up. He's pretty unconscious at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's pretty heavy, but maybe like Khalifas and Carlovel or something, or maybe Khalifas and Karga. I don't know how strong Carlovel is, like muscle-wise.
12
That's
strength,
not too bad. Yeah. Okay, yeah, you can do that. Like, amongst Khalifas and you, Carlovel, you can drag him behind you through the mud, basically. Just like each one of you grabs one of his feet and you just drag him after you. Or you can drag him by the tail, I suppose. That works. They have tails. Lizard folk have like long reptile tails, not like Dragonborn.
Nah, using ropes.
Okay, that works too. Sure. So you bind him and then just drag him through the mud like a sledge, sort of. Okay. And then you wait until he wakes up, just dragging him until that happens, or you want to set up camp, some sort of camp somewhere, or something?
I think we're like taking a little bit of a short rest, just a bit away.
Yeah.
Okay. How far do you want to move? Just a couple 100 yards or further?
I think that's fine. No.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Sure.
While we take a short rest, I'm going to meditate.
I'll spend a hit die and get some spell slots back.
Yeah, sure. Sure. So do you wanna tie the guy somewhere, like to a tree or something like that, or just leave him on the ground tied up?
We can leave him. If we're all around keeping an eye on him, we probably will notice when he starts to wake up, huh?
You're probably right.
We're not sleeping, yeah.
Okay. Some of you meditate, some of you regain some hit points. You sit around. It's now maybe about 3 o'clock in the afternoon or so. So there's still plenty of sunlight left, basically. And eventually your captives just start stirring and like taking some gulps of air, and his eyelids flutter and slide open. He has these like crocodiles, like 2 pairs of lids.
Oh, where's this going?
And then the second one, and he just starts looking around. And it like tests his ropes a bit, but he can't get out.
No, it's good.
Good morning to you, good sir. I say Draconic.
Release me, weak skin.
No.
Sorry, just to double check. These are the opal scales, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Just making sure I didn't like burn the wrong tribe.
Now you ask question.
I was pretty sure, and they also had a troll, which was no good. But
Okay.
Well, what do we want to ask him?
I don't know.
You don't know. I don't know. It was Carlo.
I was
that
ready to
decided.
eat his face.
Release me,
Well,
or
you're-
kill me.
Free to eat his face if now, if you want to. I mean, he's right there.
Carlo, do you have anything in mind in particular? Or?
Nope. Okay.
Anything to know about what's this? The Garstan?
Darstan.
Is it
I guess
Gar
we
or
can
Dar?
Dar.
ask of location of army or something. I don't know.
I mean, I could tell him the Smooth Skins challenge Darstan's claim to the island.
Maybe not make challenge while we are busy for the next few days.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking that too.
Well, this was productive.
Yep. Yep. We're good at interrogating, guys.
And you,
Oh, good.
why are they after us?
Yeah.
There's a question.
Okay.
Sure, why not?
Why were you following us?
I will tell you nothing.
He will tell us nothing. We might as well kill him. He will tell us nothing. We might as well kill him right now.
I need to read something.
It's like Carlos like I need to just like pull out a book real quick.
I'm taking my rod from the bag I have and putting him on his chest, pressing slightly, and clicking on a button.
Okay. So you're sort of pushing
Pressure him. Yeah, on his chest.
Yeah. Okay. So he's like lying on his back. Looks down and like tries to get up and like, what is this? But he can't get out. The rod's holding him in place, like just hovering basically, or like on his chest, pushing him into the mud.
I can even make it go lower, so.
But Silas's eyes flash with interest at this new toy.
Okay, how about you tell us what we want to know, or we will tie you up alive outside the swamp to leave you, so the Black One may see your failures.
Doesn't seem to show much of a reaction other than snarling.
I stand on the rope.
Nothing happens.
I press a button.
Okay.
And I press the button again.
Give me an intimidation check. With advantage, let's say. Okay, well.
Not serious about that.
Press at all. It's just like, he's now having a bit difficulty breathing because the air is pressed out of his lungs. So he can't snarl quite as much, but his eyes are still like moving and he's like, doesn't seem impressed by the pain or the pressure on his chest.
Maybe we let him go. He can tell his friends how the skinniest in our pack immolated 5 people at the same time.
Yeah. Sure.
Doesn't hurt to build a little buzz before potential coming back to.
There was one other guy who fled and left to tell the tale.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
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 So are we killing him? Are we? We sort of should probably get out of here before it gets dark.
Before the other guy comes back with more friends.
Ah, yes, that too. We don't know how far away they're stationed.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have ways of tracking people when you.
Not exactly.
Or
Not over long distances.
Yeah.
extracting that thought, or.
Sorry. Extracting thought. Well, I. Yeah, I mean.
Yes. Why aren't you doing that thing you're always doing?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Would it? Yeah, he reads the thoughts. He doesn't have to know the language, or how does that work with language?
Yeah,
you can communicate. It doesn't. Language is no barrier to that sort of thing.
Okay.
Or at the very least, I can get the essence of their thoughts. I don't know that I can't telepathically talk to them necessarily, but
no, you can just read this all. It's
I can just read. Yeah. I mean, okay, so I can only do it for about a minute.
So maybe Califos
so
just chat with him a little about, the dark guy and how we're gonna kick his ass or something.
Okay.
To make sure his thoughts are moving in the right sphere.
Sure. All right. Do we have some specific questions? Because it's only going to go for a minute.
Location.
Where does the Black One enter from? When does he enter?
Sure. Okay. All right. And casting full probe.
Okay, that's a wisdom saving throw, right?
Yes, sir.
It's a 9, so it's a fail.
Yeah.
Okay, you push into his mind. You can sense he's in pain and he's afraid, but his determination is stronger. He would rather die than tell you anything. You push deeper and you sense his shock as you enter his mind. And he tries to resist, but he's too weak. Your magic is stronger. And he is...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was muted. You're up, Cleophas.
Okay, so this black one, where does he come from?
As you say that, you can see a flash of an image, a tall, black-skinned, scaled dragonborn, dressed in sort of fairly simple, but like a leather vest, more or less, but adorned with some sort of decorations, I suppose, etchings or something like that. But yeah, it's definitely a dragonborn. And not fairly slim, not nearly as wide-shouldered as Vorax, for instance, and pitch black scales. You just catch like a flash as he says that name.
All right, lightning rounds, come on. Put some pressure on him. I got an image of the guy.
The camp.
The camp?
Yeah. Where's there?
How far away are reinforcements?
He's trying not to think, but he's failing. And you sense that there's no one coming, not anytime soon anyway. So you probably have at least a couple hours, if anything.
Yeah, there's nobody nearby except for the one guy who ran. So we're good for a little bit anyway.
Are there any plans to attack the True Hearts soon?
You catch a glimpse of, you think, a memory of battle, lizard man fighting one another, and a sort of older looking lizard man with nearly white skin, with like some sort of a feathery cloak and a staff. But there is a mixture of sort of reverence and hate in his mind when he thinks about that, and a flash of fear. And then you see a very large lizard man wielding a great sword, dressed in some sort of heavy armor, standing there and shouting something. And then that's also gone.
Sorry, I can't remember. Do we know if it's just the lizardmen or also the frog people that have joined him?
That's a good thing to ask, I would think.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember if the other one said anything.
Are you allied with the bullywugs?
You sense a sort of fairly strong resentment towards these frog-like things. They are not allied with them, but it seems like they have basically subjugated them.
Okay, so it sounds like
the lizard folk considers these like weaklings, not worthy of an alliance or anything like that.
But I do get the sense that they have some sort of, they are in league in some way.
Yes, definitely. You catch a flash of what looks to be some sort of large camp within the remains of some sort of large ruin on like a slightly elevated position, maybe as like a small hill in the swamp or something. And you see many lizard folk and many more bullywugs there. And you get the impression that lizard folk are dominant, like they're the masters, and the bullywugs are not much more than slaves or dogs, really. The camp, you only catch like a glimpse of it, but it seems pretty large. Not like just like 20 or 30 creatures, but
this is like
dozens, maybe hundreds.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything else?
You only have maybe time for one more question, although your minute is nearly run out.
How large is your army?
He doesn't seem to really know exact numbers or anything, but you get the sense that it's large. You catch a glimpse of several trolls sort of stumbling around in the camp, and also lizard folk, dozens of lizard folk, and many, many bullywugs.
Okay.
And then the connection breaks.
All right.
And he's staring at you, Silas, now.
Right. All right, I'm just going to Ray Frost into his head.
Okay. Spike of ice pierces one eye.
Okay, well.
Okay.
I take my rod back.
So.
Okay.
So let's see.
Back in the bag.
Yep.
It's black scale dragonborn. It doesn't look like much of a fighter. Maybe, if anything, a mage of some sorts. If anything. Didn't really get much on if there's any like active plans against the True Hearts, aside from just general animosity.
Yeah.
This Darstan sounds like a bad dude. Kind of like a maybe Dragon Shard-esque kind of situation.
I don't think Garston is so much of the problem as this black one fellow is.
Well, I mean, yeah, it seems like a Dragon Shard Tamara situation again, maybe, but
yeah. You can just hear like a from within your ring.
I'll ask, just kind of ask him, say, do you know any black scale dragonborn?
I was not aware of any dragonborn except the one in Thornshire who leads the city guard.
Do you get to see those glimpses as well?
That will remain my little secret, I'm afraid.
Sure, why not? So they've got a bunch of bullywogs as slave soldiers, basically, and trolls. Fewer trolls, thankfully, but
oh no, it's the other way around. It's more trolls than bullywugs.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh god, don't fuck with me.
That would have been a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
that would have been impressive, really, honestly.
Sounds like we could incite a rebellion. Then.
Possibly.
Maybe not so much diplomatically, but give them the opportunity to rise up.
Yeah.
We'll probably have to fight the fear to be stamped on trees. That would be needed a lot of work. With people I can't really speak with them. Don't know about you, but...
And the lizard folk, I'm sure, are used to fighting in this terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So long as we can coordinate attacks, they shouldn't be needing our help much with that part. Anyway, should we keep going?
Yeah, let's get out of here. Get back to Wondermere.
All right. You continue moving north, leaving the dead lizard folk behind you in the mud. And within about maybe an hour and a half or so like around, let's say about just after 4 o'clock or so in the afternoon, you reach the northern edge of the swamp, finally leaving the many, many sounds of insects and birds and whatnot behind you. It feels now, after you've spent a whole day in the swamp, feels suddenly like eerily quiet as you step out into the fields. But the smell is much better.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
to Wondermere,
Yeah,
to robots, Robbit.
All right. So, what do you want to do? It'll probably take you quite a few hours on foot to get to Wondermere from where you are. At least probably like a good 6-7 hour march or so. So you probably won't get there until the late evening, maybe even midnight.
I think that's
And we
fine.
should probably just start,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah,
can sleep inside when we get there.
Yep.
Well, you're like somewhere here at the moment, sort of, where you are.
No
Yeah.
more.
Also, I think while we're out of the town and heading to the Titan, we should question Mr. Elfman about the Black one.
If he's come back.
Yeah, but we have time now, or should we head to explore the next forest?
I think if God, what's his face? I can't remember his name. Erlafon.
Oh yeah, the half elf, right?
Yeah, if he's back, we maybe try to leave with him tomorrow.
Yeah.
Try to head north, meet up with the Queen of the Forest on the way.
Okay, well, to Wondermere.
Okay, so you make your way shortest direction possible, basically, sort of thing.
Yep.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Well, you trudge forward, leaving the swamp far behind you, and then approaching the more cultivated area soon of like fields and such. And you will see Wondermere in the distance, especially when night falls. It only goes dark, like darkness falls at around like 9 o'clock maybe in the evening or so fairly late. So you will well and truly see Wondermere across the sort of the bay, whatever you want to call that. Now, and you're following the Grey Run upriver, sort of where the Grey Run pushes it into this bay. And then eventually it will go dark, and you can see obviously in the distance the lights of Wondermere. Everything seems in order from what you can tell, and you cross the bridge maybe about an hour or so before midnight and reach the village itself a few minutes later. The gates are, of course, closed, but as I'm assuming you're carrying some sort of light, right, while as you're approaching, because at least 2 of you can't see in the dark.
Yeah.
So you identify yourself at the gate, and the gate is opened by the militia for you, and you can enter.
Okay, let's get to the dancing fiddler and sleep.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'm just gonna ask whoever was manning the gate if they've seen if someone's left on a horse like the one we found lately.
Like
just
no, I don't recall anyone leaving. You said eastwards? No, not many people venture out into the Stone Plains recently. Most people that leave from here do it by ship or such.
Okay. Thank you.
Of course.
That horse is probably gone from now.
Yes, I was more curious who its owner was.
Yeah. And it would have been practical to travel with him with it.
Probably could have asked the lizardman that, actually. Oh well. To
Okay.
the
You reach the dancing fiddler. The village is fairly quiet at this time. It's nearly midnight, maybe about half an hour to midnight or so. There's still light in a few buildings, but most of them are dark. The dancing fiddler, however, is lit, not brightly by any means, but there's a little bit of light. And as you step in, you see maybe about half a dozen people, most of them already fairly drunk, locals from what you can tell. And there's a single serving girl, just sort of fairly, she looks fairly bored. They're sitting at the counter, of keeping an eye on things. And she's already about like getting ready to, you can see she's already like cleaning up for the night. So they're probably closing soonish, around midnight or so. But she does look up as you enter and sort of gives a small curtsy towards you. Welcome.
Hello.
So, what can I get you?
A place to clean.
Yes. She looks down onto your boots, where like they're like encased in dried mud, like up to your, or nearly up to your hip, really. Like the whole. You're pretty spattered with mud, dried, of course, but still. And she says, "Yes, of course. I'm afraid it's a bit late for me to heat up any water, but I can get you a bucket or two." The mayor, he said that you can stay for free. He'll pay, so there's rooms available for you, of course. Will that be fine?
That will be fine.
Fantastic.
Do you want me to bring the buckets to your rooms, or?
Yes, please.
Of course.
If you could bring one down there so we don't spoil everything up to your rooms.
Yes, of course. I'll bring some buckets, like to the back door, maybe, or something like that. Yeah, that's fine. Here's your room keys. She hands over 2 keys to you, 2 large sort of brass keys. I'll have the water in a few moments. Just give me a second. She hurries off. One of the guys, the drunk farmer, looks up to you and he's like, "You look like shit."
So do you.
Hey, at least I don't have fucking horns growing out of my head, eh?
I mean, he has a point.
I can't sign us sympathy.
You've actually got 2, but
the farmer raises a mug of beer. Hey, that man knows what I'm talking about. Okay, the girl comes back and puts like two like some rags basically that you can use to clean yourself, and 2 buckets of water to the back door, and you scrape off the worst of the mud.
Yeah.
She's sort of hovering nearby, keeping an eye on things, cleaning up a bit, putting some chairs up on tables and starting to sort of clean the floor a bit. And the last people are slowly starting to leave now.
Okay, well, clean off, go to sleep.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna ask the servant girl if the master of the house has come back yet.
Master Elephant, no, I'm afraid not. The Mistress Aranya is quite worried. He's never been gone for that long. I don't think.
Okay.
We wait, didn't you say you met him in Thornshire?
Yeah, he should be back tomorrow, I think. Right?
Or the Mistress?
There was a ship arriving 3 days ago, I think.
I'm not sure. The Mistress.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Do you think he'll be arriving back? We are a little worried, I suppose.
Yeah, tomorrow or the day after at the latest, I think.
How long does it usually take to travel from Thornshire to Balloony across lands?
Are you asking her or me as a game master?
Both.
Either or.
Yeah.
I mean,
would I know?
I'll ask her.
She shrugs and says, "I'm not sure. A couple days."
I think 4 is the time we've done it in before. 4 to 5.
Yeah, we didn't take a very direct path across.
Yeah, looking at your map, you could probably make it in 4 days on foot. Like if you're traveling with a decent speed, not like lounging around and having a break for half an hour.
Yeah,
But make it in 4 days. On horseback, probably 3 days, you'd say, or so.
it should be.
If you really push your horse, if you like really wanna get
It should
there.
be there tomorrow or.
Yeah. Okay. Well, wash off, go to sleep. See you tomorrow.
Yes, of course. I'll have some breakfast ready for you.
Thanks. It will be a pleasure.
Of course.
Oh yeah. How many Dragonborn are there on this island? Do you know that?
Dragonborn. As far as I know, only one. That man who killed the leader of the bugbears, right? The large white skinned one, the hero of Thornshire. That's the only one I've heard of, anyway. Why?
No, just I thought I heard someone talking about a Dragonborn. I don't know.
Here. Well,
Yeah.
if you've seen a Dragonborn here, it probably wasn't a real Dragonborn. It was probably Scammon playing one of his stupid jokes on someone.
Oh yeah, we've run into him before, yeah.
He has like this hat that allows him to change his form. Some sort of magic. I don't know.
Yeah, he's already played a prank on us, so we know about it.
He's a good man, I suppose, but the pranks are pretty stupid, if you ask me. But other than that, I don't know of any Dragonborn.
Okay.
Anyway, well, get some good rest, and I'll have some breakfast ready for you in the morning. Good night.
Good night.
Guys, I think it's clear we have to kill Scammon.
Yep, it's fine. Yep, it's decided. We'll assassinate him in the morning.
Don't know this person, so.
It's the only other tiefling on the island, and he has a hat of disguise. And he likes to play pranks. There was an incident with
that's
a
3 strikes against him right there.
Yeah. there was an incident with a tree, a paper bag, and shit.
And also the hours that it took us to go get there before realizing, there's.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to bed.
Yep. While we're going to bed, I'm gonna fetch my coffee. So be around like 10 seconds.
You can do that. Okay, so you guys retreat to your rooms, and you spend a good night's sleep. You spend a long rest, and you can regenerate whatever you might need, spell slots and stuff. And mark down the 11th day of your ultimatum has come. And it is weather-wise fairly unchanged. Few clouds, still fairly warm, not to say hot. The village has already risen around you, and you can hear people heading out the gate and out onto the fields. Everything seems fairly peaceful. When you come downstairs, the same serving girl, she looks a little tired, but she probably also slept, is already waiting with the breakfast. It's like scrambled eggs, and puts it in front of you.
Thanks.
And gives you a nod. Good morning. Oh, here's the breakfast I promised you. Would anyone like anything to drink?
I'll have some water.
Just
Yes, of course.
something strong that makes you wake up, I suppose.
Some tea then, of course.
Some tea would be nice, thank you.
Yes, yes. And the lady?
Tea.
Of course.
Sure.
I'll be right back. There's not many people in the common room this early. I mean, it's like... Actually, no, it wouldn't be that early. It would be probably about 8:30-ish in the morning, which is for a village like Wandermere, it's already fairly late. So most people will already be at work. But the effect is the same. There's not many people here. Maybe about, I don't know, a dozen or so other people. Traveling sailors and such, just enjoying a late breakfast. Some hungover guys.
So do we hang around town and wait for a ship to come in, or do we head up to Timberlands?
Well, I mean, how long do we have? This is like 4 days left now, I think.
So the 11th day, the 14th day is the night of the full moon, of the new moon.
Yeah, so I think this is the day we decided was the latest day we would meet him on.
Pretty much.
We're waiting for someone that should arrive today.
He should have arrived yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
Suppose we can wait until midday and then we head out on our own. We need to head by the forest, actually.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Has the ship been seen?
We can go check, I guess.
Because that was his easiest way to get there, basically.
Yeah, we weren't really sure how he was coming back, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll swing by the docks, see if any ships have arrived.
Okay. You ask around. There is one ship there, and you ask around. That ship did actually come from Wandermere. It arrived sort of in the mid-afternoon yesterday.
Yeah,
when you ask about a half-elf, they have not seen a half-elf. Like, they did not have a half-elf passenger.
No new ships this morning.
No.
That is probably bad news.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
Man.
Could it be linked to the horse we saw yesterday?
That's possible, actually, now that you say it.
Because
You think you went to...
that horse was tired.
Have been waiting hard.
He's of Eladrin descent. Do Eladrin have shape-shifting ability?
That would be an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Let me see if I remember.
Nope.
They have all kinds of magical stuff. They can turn into like dragons and giants and like shoot lightning out of their ass and I don't know, all kinds of stuff.
I've heard tons of stories about Eladrin.
And grant your wishes as well if you like release them from a lamp. And sometimes at midnight they turn into pumpkins. It's weird. You have heard so many stories about them.
Did he say how he came to Thornshire? Did he ride there or come by boat when he went up?
I got the impression he came by boat.
Oh. Then there's not much point asking about the horse.
Well, there wasn't any boat in Thornshire. So...
He'd been around asking for us for a couple of days, though. So if he had come by ship, that ship probably never left port.
Yeah.
I don't think he said more than the other, though. We neglected to ask, I suppose. Shit.
Well,
Do we want to go find that horse? Are you in a beast-speaking mood today, Karga?
Well, the horse is probably long gone, but he might have gone towards houses and civilization.
Mm.
I'm not sure horses are beasts that likes to wander in the wild if they've been used to humans.
How about we head to the Western Timberlands and try to contact their queen again?
Try and get a hold of Kiana.
Yeah. See if she has returned. I'm getting a serious hunch that he is the Black One.
Who?
Elithon?
Yeah. I mean, why else would he just head down there? Like, the Black One, he comes from outside. As far as we know, no one else really heads in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't see anything directly.
Yeah, from the swamp, everything is outside.
Yeah.
If someone comes from the north, it's the south of the island.
Um,
And you speak, our enemy can be anywhere how they want, so...
I mean, we could go ask our tiefling fellow if he's ever seen a black dragonborn. See how he reacts. Because that's the only other person on the island that might know illusion magic, really, except for Sakurai, I suppose.
Why would... We don't know every allies that lies in the floating castle, so...
Sorry?
We don't know everyone in the castle, so... There could be a black dragonborn over there that you never cross paths, and...
But then why would... I'm convinced that Erlathon is connected to Blackmoor somehow. How he's connected, I don't know. But someone in Blackmoor wants Mr. Lightning Lord dead.
Hey, you got the right name.
Yeah. I had to take a short pause to myself.
I can tell it was slightly labored, but yeah. But you did good, buddy. You did good.
Even if that's true, Mr. Floating in Castle guy is a bigger problem right now.
Yeah. Well, to the Western Timberlands we go, or do we head down there and check the horse, even though it's probably gone?
Yeah, I suppose I would like to investigate our only possibility on Erithon. It's in the wrong direction, and we don't have time.
Yeah.
North, then.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we've lost an ally, but...
I know. Maybe we'll be surprised. Maybe we're wrong. But...
Either way, he was only taking us to the mountain.
Well, I mean, he knew a way up the mountain as well, didn't he?
That's
but my point is, he's not an ally in the fight.
Sure.
Just a guide.
But so, if we go and investigate Elthon and find out he's missing, and maybe we find a way to get him back.
Maybe let's not speculate, make wife think he died, then we throw out of town. 3 hours later, he comes back, turns out twisted his ankle.
Well, we'll not mention this.
Just not say anything and leave.
Karga, since when has the mundane explanation on this island been the correct one?
How about we just tell
a halfling comes to mind.
Can you rejoin real quick, Kevin, please?
Okay.
I'm convinced he is of malicious intent, okay? I will not accept any other truth.
I'll have you know
But
that.
what would you rather do?
Shady.
Console Weeping Widow or not console Weeping Widow, who might not be Widow?
Right, right.
Let's just tell her we're heading north towards. We're heading north along the edge of the Timberlands, and if her husband comes back, to pass that along.
Do we take the horses or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're gonna travel. We're gonna be going along the plains, and we have a good distance to go.
Yep. Okay. Well, you tell her that. I'm gonna go stand outside while you tell her that.
Okay, I'm gonna go tell her that.
So you're gonna go tell who what?
I'm gonna go tell. What's her name? Arania.
Yes.
That we're heading north.
You don't see Urania anywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna tell whoever is working the bar.
Yeah, it's the same sort of bar helper, the young, sort of maybe 17, 18-ish woman, sort of shoulder length, brown hair, dressed in like a simple apron, who was serving you food and who also was working last night when you arrived.
Okay, I'm just gonna. I'll ask her that if she sees Erlathon, if he returns, to pass on word that we've headed north along the edge of the western Timberlands and are continuing in that direction.
The Timberlands?
Yeah.
Oh, the mistress won't be happy to hear that.
Well, just we don't intend to go into the Timberlands. We're just there's something we need along the edge. It's not a big deal.
Well, I mean, if I see Master Erlathon, I'll make sure to pass it along. I hope he's all right.
I'm sure he's fine. He seems like a resourceful fellow.
I suppose.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna take our horses from the stable and head out very soon. Thank you.
Of course. Well, hey, safe travels.
Thank you. All right.
Okay, so you grab your horses and you leave Wandermere behind, and you ride where? Straight north?
Pretty much. Yeah, it's kind of like north and along this eastern edge.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, you had when last time you talked to the Dryads, they agreed to meet you on the sort of eastern side of the forest, on the edge of the forest.
Yeah, I guess we'll just kind of skirt along that until
10 o'clock-ish when you leave Wandermere. It will take you on horseback. Let's see. It will take you about maybe 5 hours or so to get to that sort of eastern side of the Western Timberland. So it'll be about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, basically, when you get there. You ride through the fields. Couple of the farmers sort of look up and wave, but eventually you leave the fields behind. You ride across the plains for a bit, and now you can see the Western Timberland. Sort of, it looks like the forest is slowly approaching, basically, because it's sort of curling into your direction as you ride in a sort of northeasterly direction, I suppose, past the Timberlands. And eventually you come to what you think is the area that is very close to the sort of easternmost tip of the forest. And as I said, it would be about 3 o'clock or so in the afternoon. On that, maybe 2:30-ish in the afternoon. So that's still sort of early afternoon, basically.
So around like here-ish?
Yeah, sort of there, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. The forest seems fairly quiet from what you can tell.
Should we kind of like make camp and have like lunch, I guess, and see if they approach us?
Where do you want to make camp? Maybe
just like along the edge, not fully in the forest, but
okay.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, the edge of the forest isn't like a straight tree line. There's
like
trees and then a couple more trees, and it eventually turns into like a full-on forest. This part of the forest is basically untouched. Like you do not see any sign of, remember how you saw like the little amulets and like cut down trees and stuff further down south? This part does not look like it's seen the hand of a human or any similar creature in many, many years, if at all.
While they're setting up camp,
Yeah.
I'm going to just go a little ways into the forest and tell a friendly-looking tree to tell Silana that we have returned, because she said that, you know, the trees talk to each other or something.
Feel a little stupid, I suppose, like a little silly.
Look, I'm a druid. I talk to trees all the time.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It's normal, like business as usual for you. You stand there. There's a rustle in the trees, like a little breeze. It sounds like a whisper nearly that's being carried off into the distance for you. Or maybe it's you imagining things. You're not sure.
And then I'll go back to the camp and hang out until something happens.
Okay. Yeah, you set camp. You tie your horses to like the closest trees. You have a bit of lunch. And about half an hour later or so, you hear a voice saying, "You have returned." And you look up and you can see a face, a wooden face pushing out of one of the trees at the side of your camp.
We have. Hello again. Do you recognize Silana?
You think it is she. It's a bit hard. I mean, it's a female, you think, dryad. They're all very androgynous.
Yeah.
But
Silas is going to work on the assumption that it's Silana.
Yeah, that's fair. Welcome back again.
Thank you.
Has your lady returned?
Yes. The queen has returned from the beyond. Queen Kiona is ready to receive you. She has thought of your problem and she has prepared aid in 2 ways.
We most graciously accept this aid.
Yes. Several more dryads start sort of peeking out and then stepping out of the trees fully while you're talking, just standing there.
Should we follow you to see Kiona? Or
do you trust us?
Silas kind of glances to the group.
Yes.
Yes.
We can take you to the queen in a very short amount of time. It will take you many hours to reach the heart of the forest. With our guidance, you will be there and return before the sun sets.
Wonderful.
That sounds good. Should we leave the horses here? Are they going to be safe if we leave the horses here?
Your friends will be safe. We cannot take them with us, I am afraid.
Okay.
Now, this experience might be unusual for your kind and potentially disturbing. Try to remain calm, please. We have no ill will towards you. Quite the opposite, in fact. We are allies in the fight against the darkness. Now, my brothers and sisters will guide you, and we will see you in the heart of the forest. The face retreats backwards, and the other 4 dryads that have stepped out each step up to one of you and reach out one hand like this.
Margaret takes her dryad's hand.
Yep, same.
Dryad takes you and leads you. Her touch is very delicate. It's nearly like holding, like having like a small bird sitting on your hand. Even though they are fairly large creatures, I mean they're nearly human-sized, slender, but still. And they lead you, Karga and Kaliphos, the 2 dryads, lead you to 2 larger trees, a bit away from your camp, maybe about 30, 40 yards away. Silas and Carloville?
I, with some hesitation, reach out for our hands. That's offered.
You're also led away into the forest. The last dryad is still standing there, holding her hand towards Carlo.
I'm coming. I'm giving my hand and coming.
You are led sort of apart a bit. You can still catch glimpses of each other, but it's not like you're next to each other. And each of you is led to a large tree, and then the dryad looks at you and gives you a nod and a small smile, and sort of you can feel the grip of their hands becoming a bit stronger, as if they're like reassuringly squeezing your hand for a moment. And then they step up towards the tree, and the dryad, they start merging with the tree, basically, as if they're sinking into a pond, really. There's no ripple effect as such. It's just the dryad slowly disappears, and it's just a hand, until only the hand that's holding your hand is sticking out. And then that hand also slowly starts disappearing into the tree, pulling you closer and closer to the bark. And then eventually your hand touches it, and you don't feel the rough sensation of the side of a tree as you would have expected. Instead, it feels warm, and indeed it feels like you're being dunked into a warm water, like a bathtub or something like that. It's a weird sensation, but not unpleasant as such. And then your hand also starts slowly disappearing inside the tree. And then with a sudden quick move, the rest of your body is pulled in as well, and then pushed out, and you're like looking around, and you're somewhere in the forest, deep within the forest. The dryad's still holding your hand and continues walking, pulling you along a bit up to another tree, and then disappearing to that tree as well, and you're pulled in once again. And that experience repeats itself maybe about 20 or so times over the course of the next maybe hour or so, as you just like seem to be emerging from one tree, being led maybe about 20, 30, 40 yards, depending on where the next larger tree is, and then merging with that one, and then being basically pushed out the other side. The emerging from the tree slightly not painful, but uncomfortable, I suppose, like being pushed out suddenly, like someone shoving you from behind, and you losing orientation for a bit, but eventually you sort of grow used to it. However, all of you give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom.
My best.
23, excellent. Or I got 22, excellent. Carlovel, not so well. So that 23 was Silas, obviously, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so Silas and Karga, you sort of stay conscious while this trip is happening, and you sort of manage to understand that this is some sort of dryad magic, some sort of magic that allows you to basically teleport, to shift from one tree to another tree that's probably several hundred yards or so further away or something. Carlovel and Caliphus, since you're not very familiar with magic as such, except for Caliphus is like some of his instinctual abilities, you start to slightly panic, and while you manage to sort of keep it down, your head starts growing fuzzy, and after a while it feels like you're drunk. And once you emerge from what seems to be the end of your journey, you're not quite sure what just happened. It's like you sort of vaguely remember, but everything's fuzzy, as if you're like waking up after a heavy night of binge drinking, without headache as such, but like this fuzzy feeling in your brain. And you're just like stumbling along with the dryad, both of you, and you're both led up together, basically, once more. Two of you fairly clear-headed, the other two, as I said, fairly dizzy, I suppose. As is the
Karga looks at her dryad and says, "You know, being inside tree much nicer than being inside obelisk."
Dryad gives you a smile. You're not quite sure if the dryad understands you. It gives you a nod and then release.
That's all that counts.
The four dryads beside you release your hands and slowly start stepping away into the forest.
Did they just drug us and then bring us here, and we just don't remember the journey here, and that's why it went so fast?
Yep, roofie.
Yeah, Silas is hating the process, but is fascinated by it. It's like the actual physical aspect of it is terrible, but like he's futilely trying to figure out like how it works.
Yeah, Karga's lists of spells to learn is growing longer today.
Is there a Taco Bell around here?
No. A lot of trees. And one single dryad, which you presume would be Silana, standing about maybe 30 feet away from you between the trees. Emerged, however, not part of any tree at the moment. Just looking at you with these long, leaf-like hair, like a cloak draped around her.
Are we there yet?
I think we are.
You are indeed. We apologize. Sometimes this experience can confuse the mind of those unused to it.
Okay, then it's me.
We have saved a few hours of travel, and as you know, time is of the essence.
Yes, it is.
Of course. We'll give Carl a pat on the back. Feeling all right, buddy?
Queen Kiona awaits.
All right.
Follow me, please. She turns, walks away through the trees. As you follow, you see that this part of the forest must be very old. Most of the trees are massive, ancient trees, centuries old. And as you are progressing further, the trees grow larger and larger until there's basically like a lot of space around you because these massive trees can't grow that close to each other. But you come across a grove of trees that are reaching up into the air, hundreds of feet, like giants amongst the other trees that you've seen. And even the four of you holding each other by the hands would not be enough to encircle one of those trees. And you're actually not quite sure how you didn't see those trees before, because these trees this tall must have had like been standing out of the rest of the forest. Well, you passed the forest on a ship. You would have seen them in a distance, but you didn't. I mean, you saw some large trees, but nothing nearly as towering, as tower-like, in fact, as these trees.
How much is just my and Karga's like innate sense of magic just like pinging?
Magic is very strong here amongst the natural magic of the forest is extremely strong. And you can see dryads looking at you, some of them looking out from these trees, others just walking around. And you can see other creatures. You can see wolves and deer and stags and bears and other creatures that seem calm, like following the dryads around. Some of them are sitting there, others sleeping, some of them looking at you. 2 or 3 dire wolves are there as well, but none of them seem aggressive at all. They seem like pets to the dryads, really. And there must be probably about, 20 or 30 dryads that you see. It's not by no means a city as such, but there's a lot of dryads around you, basically. And you follow Silana, who leads you deeper and deeper and seems to be leading you towards some sort of opening in the center, some sort of clearing, surrounded by 5 or 6 of these massive trees. The clearing itself seems very large, 200-300 feet in the diameter as such. And you can see there are, around the clearing, amongst the trees, there are stones, overgrown stones, like standing out of the ground. Some of the stones are maybe about 3 or 4 feet high. Some of them are obelisks, maybe about 10, 12 feet high. They remind you vaguely of the stones that you have seen in Hungir's forest. But these ones seem even older, and there's no symbols on them as such. Instead, there are vines growing over them, and some of the vines are curved in ways that nearly resemble some sort of runic pattern or something like that as they grow on these stones. And ahead in the center of the clearing, you can see two things. One thing is what looks to be like a bundle of thick brush, large bushes, taller than a man, standing together, maybe 7 or 8 of them. And the second thing, a bit further away, is a circle of mushrooms, weirdly enough, of all things. Nearly a perfect circle, in fact. These purplish, large mushrooms, each about 1 foot to 1.5 feet. The grass under your feet is extremely soft and very, very thick, and everything here is just vibrating with the energy of life. There's no other dryads to be seen, except for Solana herself, who is leading you what looks to be towards that brush work. She stops and says, "Be careful not to step into the circle," and she points over at the mushrooms. "Please keep your distance from it." The queen is happy to see you now. She turns towards the brush, and as she does, you can see a golden light, like sunlight, slowly spilling forth from these brushes, and the bush itself starts to slowly move and draw back like a curtain in a theater, drawing away to both sides, and emerging from it, you can see vaguely the silhouettes of a figure, a slender figure. And that's where we'll end it for tonight. And pick up next time with a talk with Keonia, the Dryad Queen. And maybe a fight. Who knows how things will turn out.
Wildfire.
Yeah. Exactly.
On the shrooms.
Cool. Well, we are approaching the final part of this adventure rapidly. I assume we'll have probably about 2 more sessions, and then we'll be done one way or the other. But we will see. So, as always, True Mouse Games says, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the game, feel free to subscribe to our channel and like this video. And we'll see when we will find time to play again. I'm definitely looking forward to the Lightning Lord and everything surrounding him.
Yes, we
Anyway.
are going to kill the Storm Lord.
Yes, definitely are. The Stormlord, yes. Okay, anyway.
Stormlord is the next one.
Yeah, the Stormlord is the one above. There's the Lightning Lord and the Wind Lord and the Thunder Lord, and then when they 3 combine, it's Stormlord.
This campaign is now a shonen.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyway, thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day, and we'll see you around. Bye-bye.
Bye.